Pussycat, pussycat, I've got flowers and lots of hours to spend time with you. So go and powder your cute little pussycat nose. Pussycat, pussycat, I love you. Yes, I do. You and your pussycat nose. Do, 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 do. What's you, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. I think I'm done because I'm going to cry.
He doesn't stand up well. Sorry.
Who's that? That's a Bioroid.
I think it's about Tom Jones.
You should get Mario and the Ninja Turtle up.
No, I got him now. It's all good. He's standing up now. I'm happy.
I can't sing any more of that song. I'll tear up. I dedicate that to my late great Claude the Smelly Cat, who died. Up in heaven he is, looking down on me and probably missing his kitty litter up in kitty heaven. Probably gone to St. Peter at the pearly gates, and he's gone up there and gone, meh, and he's gone, you fucking stink, go through those gates. So God bless him. I miss him. I didn't have long with him. He's gone. It is what it is. I'm not going to get another animal. No more pets. I'm done. I fucking failed as a pet.
Just get a collection of fleshlights.
Yeah, well, maybe I might. You had a question about a fleshlight.
Yeah. So again, listeners, did you go with the standard model, the Flesh Jack, or perhaps one of many,
I went with a training.
very porn stars.
I went with a training pro, the Training Pro XL or whatever they call it.
Oh, I didn't even
the one that trains you to not quickly.
Oh. Can I borrow it, or is that
no?
a bit
It's
weird?
been used. Well, then again, we can. What's the difference between that and the real people?
That's a good point.
That's a good
You
point.
can actually wash this out in
with
the
a training
sink
one
and,
instead of a branded. Well,
no, it's a proper fleshlight.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not one of like the Jenna Jameson one or
No.
that'd be a loose fit these days.
No, who was asking about
Sausage
that?
down a hallway.
Who was asking about that before? When we were
Me.
upstairs?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, no. So I didn't get a real person.
So I think that's
molded
when you've
vagina.
made it as a porn star, when they cast a dye of your fanny.
You know
I
what?
don't know. See, I don't know if
Like,
I'm
I'm fascinated to know about the casting process.
No, apparently they model it off their vagina.
Well, I've seen a thing where they're doing the outside. The inside's the part that freaks me out.
That's what I mean.
It's just a plaster mold on the outside.
They must mold their pussies.
Yeah.
No bullshit. I don't know how it
Why,
works, man.
because you fucked the
But
trainer
you know,
in real life?
well, you know what the cracker is? They've got the blurb, the advertisement, and they've got the signature of the porn star that's done it, saying that yes, this is my pussy.
Some people collect trading cards. Some people collect other women's pussies.
Mate, but they've got a whole. They've got a whole.
It'd go
range.
nicely with your console collection.
I should collect fleshlights.
That's it. You've run out of
Do you reckon
consoles.
they'd be collectible?
Only if you've not used them.
Oh,
soon
are
as
you torn,
Yeah,
but
the box is kept in
because
the
you'd
box.
be curious. Could you keep them there knowing?
No, you do it. Remember Sheriff's Minicars?
Oh yeah, that was an
So-
awesome store.
He used to buy, one of the reasons he went bankrupt originally was because he used to buy 3 of everything.
I was going to say he bought
He bought one for
flashlights.
he bought the stock for the shop, he bought one for his personal collection, and he bought one for just in case this went nuts.
Yeah, that's just.
So would you
yeah.
do the same thing with your flashlights?
You know what? I'm very tempted now to get one of those porn star ones now to try that. But you know they've got different types.
They were too loosey goosey.
Wow, I tell you what, their website is just amazing.
It's
Yeah, I haven't looked on
amazing
there in
their
a while.
website. How hot are the chicks?
I love how badly you've
How
now. Yeah,
hot?
I love how badly you've just fucked up your search history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, you know,
Who gives a fuck?
On every screen now that you own, that's going to show
well, there's a
up.
turbocharged one.
Go to Facebook now.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't want to see the ads. That will be
I was going to
popping
say
up.
the ads are going to start coming up.
We don't need to go to Facebook. We go anywhere. They're just from hearing
Who
our
gives a fuck,
conversation.
mate? You know what it is? Can I tell you? We did an episode a couple of weeks ago with Super Simon. Shout out to him.
Go Super.
And we were talking
Oh, so
about
that's the one that's
stigmas.
So yours is the gold one. Looks like that, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Ah, yeah, the trainer.
Yeah, I can recognise the lips.
Lips of an angel.
But there's stigmas about this, like, but it's all right for women to have dildos.
I don't see an
Do you know
issue.
what I mean?
I don't
Like,
have one. I
But
don't see an
like,
issue with it.
This is where I look. You can buy a dildo for like $100. That's $424.
No, I didn't pay that much.
All right.
He got his second hand off eBay.
Oh,
How much is that? What one are you looking at? That's $400.
Fleshlight launch.
There's an original which
Stamina.
is cheaper. I think I got the stamina one because I
Launch
need it.
stamina pack. Oh,
This is what- but I see now. I'm confused about these things.
Which one are you looking at? That's $400. That's insane.
yeah, that's a booty hole. So the Flesh Jack is modelled on male porn stars' anuses.
Oh yeah, that's their new line. But there's male and female arseholes that you can root. So there's lips as well. There's one that looks like a pair of lips. That's a cracker. Have you seen that one?
I've seen lots of things at the
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable, man. There's one that's like lips, so it's like you're getting a blowjob. There's one that's like an ass.
Yeah, we just had the ass one go
Yeah,
past.
there's one that looks like
couples.
lips.
Oh, for couples.
For
Build your
couples.
own.
BYO.
What? You can build your own now.
Apparently. Do I want to click on that link?
What do you do? Is it like what is
Build
it?
a bear.
No, no.
It's like build a bear. You take the clit of this chick, and you get the vulva of that one.
Not even joking. That's what you can do.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
No, are you serious?
I'm on there now. So we're going to go
You
with
pick
a
your casing.
black case.
Black case.
Is it like McDonald's where you choose
Oh,
your
it's
burger?
a Happy Meal. Don't
Oh,
you?
yeah. Do you want a lady or a butt?
Oh,
Wow.
We'll go the
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
You know what though?
Okay, so I get to choose what kind of tunnel it has.
Oh fuck! I didn't go through this bullshit. I didn't do this. I couldn't do this.
Wow.
I couldn't do this.
Okay, so continue.
They're going to go through the whole process.
Yeah, they're into it.
Yeah, we're done.
Are you
talk
building?
talk
Are you
amongst
doing
yourselves.
it?
Talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, can we do this? No bullshit. You build it. You buy one now, and we'll do a product unboxing, like fucking unbox therapy. It's like unbox therapy.
What's that bit? Oh, it's a suction cup.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you
fuck
can
the
turn the
wall.
knob. Yeah.
Yeah,
So at the end of the cone thingy.
So, well, we're adding accessories at the moment. Oh, there's your suction cap.
Can you
your wall.
bedazzle it?
Oh, you can bling it. I think you put some bling
Free
on it.
lube. Flesh pump.
Flesh pump.
Oh.
Includes free lube.
Instead of just rooting at there's some friction, I guess. Would
Okay.
appear.
Well, you don't get. I'm a bit disappointed with the build your own, to be honest, because I didn't get to choose what lips. I just got to choose lips or butt.
Oh, but are they the standard lips or are they the
They look
lips
like
off a
No, there's standard.
porn star?
Nah,
That would be a claim to fame. I'm the lip lady for
What
Fleshlight. Build your
did
own.
your CV? I modelled fleshlights. How'd you do that? I used my vagina.
Oh, that's just
Mum would be so proud.
Oh, Mum's so proud of me.
so
Mum's
proud.
actually got the older lady model.
Oh, dude, that's
I reckon that would. Not your mum. I mean, particular lady's mum, whoever is modelling said lips.
that's.
Well, you got to look at it like that. That's somebody's mother. Like she's obviously maybe had a kid or two.
Kid or two.
Well,
It's quite
she's a
an
porn
opening.
star.
You'd have to.
Well, yeah. Just the front pages.
Oh, it's a crack of the front page. But I love how seriously they take themselves too. It's like,
Mate, the big business, mate.
oh
They'll be
yeah,
on it,
yeah, oh yeah, they're major
What the fuck
business.
is that?
Show me.
The quick shot.
The quick
Oh, you're going to uncharted territory. I've never seen this.
What, you haven't scrolled down on the
No, mate, no, I've never seen this.
There's a certain guy that we know who's a quick shot.
Oh, Spit Roast Steve, shout out to him. One stroke. He lasted one stroke and this chicken went.
Yeah, we've been there.
This isn't the dating special. No, we've got. This is Invert the Wire, episode 12.1, Stardate log, Captain's log, 12.1.4.9, Windows 95 and 98, and Windows fucking 2000. And the US Invert the Wire is spiraling out of control and orbiting another planet of retrodom and bullshit. And they came back because they're awesome and also they're highly caffeinated. We've got Rocket Russell and we've got Nervous Nathan / the Pickle Bear back. And he's going to write some more stuff on his pad. God bless him. And we have a topic of a show. Actually, we've got two topics of the show. I think.
3 now if we include Fleshlight.
Well, Fleshlight. We can
Which
talk.
that?
I think
Yeah,
we've
that was.
exhausted all we can on the Fleshlight.
Nah, man, did you see their website? We could do a whole episode just on their website.
I'm keen on the build the bear.
We're not sponsored by these guys soon. There's
No, but
something
I
like
wanna
Wish we
be.
were.
You can Earl wishes that we were because
Yeah, because he
said
recommended an R2D2 version, or no, Boba Fett.
he recommended a what was it? There was a certain type of, or I recommended the Sonic the Hedgehog version
That'd be a bit
because
spicy.
it'd go really
fast.
fast.
It would be, but he's spiky as hell, bud, wouldn't it?
No, but he just goes fast. It's the turbo. You get it over and done with in 2 seconds or something. That's what you want.
I think more Banjo Kazooie.
I was playing Banjo-Kazooie this morning.
Not, he's
Yep.
gonna,
But on your
Xbox Live.
N64.
No, on Xbox.
I'm
On
going with the
Xbox?
theory
Not
that
ported.
Banjo Kazooie's furry, so he's going to be much nicer than Sonic, who's going to be spiky.
yeah, fair enough.
I don't know, mate.
Food for thought for when
But
you're
I
up.
did
Fair
laugh
enough.
when I
Didn't
went
know
on
you
their
were in
website the very first time,
sort of thing.
and I saw that you could choose from a range of different models, and it proudly proclaims, "Oh, this is 100% accurate of my vagina." I fucking pissed myself when I saw that. Like, as if you give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, can you really fucking notice the difference when you're whacking off with your fleshlight?
But doesn't
I'm actually... But,
Well, when it's the size of a bucket.
and we're also joined by sock puppet Jason Relaxation, who flew in from the United States today, and he actually does have a sock puppet.
That thing's creepy with its teeth.
You know what? It is actually frightening.
I like the one eye missing. It gives it that extra.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Mick Foley be proud, mate.
Mr. Socko.
Mr. Soccer.
Yeah, my God almighty. Topic of the show. First thing I want to get out of the way very quickly is it is also, at the time of this recording, it is just on the eve of E3 conferences kicking off. I actually think, am I right in saying that
Microsoft
maybe...
is tomorrow.
Yeah, but has something like
EA's already gone.
EA's gone up
The
and...
Last Jedi Fallen or something? Jedi.
Yeah, I haven't seen the EA conference.
Something else to disappoint us.
And I haven't seen Ubisoft yet. I don't know. I can't remember the pecking order.
No,
of all
Ubisoft's later on. Microsoft is on Sunday, which is our Monday morning at about 6 a.m. I think.
Jedi Fallen Order, sorry.
Okay, well, that was
a gameplay
already...
trailer,
Yeah.
which is already gone. And it looked pretty good.
Yeah, well, that
But
was
like
already...
everything Star Wars, it'll just come around and fuck you in the ass.
like that fleshlight.
There you go. The Chewbacca flesh jack.
Oh, that's
Maybe
a
you
good
can
one.
fuck. No, I love Chewie. Couldn't
And
do
does it have the noise every time you go?
But on the Star Wars front, did you see the new Disney theme park?
Yeah, that's
Star Wars
just,
Galaxy.
I know someone that's going
Edge of the
over
Galaxy?
there.
I
Yeah.
think?
Isn't that at
looks
the...
awesome.
It's at Disneyland.
Disneyland?
yeah, when I was at Disneyland...
No, it's at
Florida
Anaheim,
Rider?
I think.
This is the big one, isn't it? The main one.
No, I thought it was at Anaheim.
No, I thought it was,
not
it was
Florida.
at Orlando.
It's at Orlando, is it?
Yeah, because I went there a couple of years ago.
They got the space, I guess.
And they were building it when I was there. This is Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And they were building it when I was there, and it looked pretty, like, I got to say, behind the scenes from what they were showing, what it will be.
Have you seen the picture
cool.
of
Speaking of a Wookiee copping
there's
it
a
up the
Wookiee.
arse.
the picture of JJ and Lucas in front of the Millennium Falcon?
No.
Oh, dude, the Millennium Falcon looks fucking life size. It looks fucking awesome.
Isn't that a ride, though? Isn't there a ride that they go... I'm sure there's a ride
That might be
they're
part of
building.
the, yeah.
I know. I was listening to Kevin Smith the other day. He was talking about apparently for the first 6 months or something, it's that booked that you've actually got to have a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to have a schedule to book in. You've got to book a certain time
Yeah.
slot to get into it.
Well, when I was there, it was the real estate that they'd partitioned for this theme park, or part of the theme park, was ridiculously big. I couldn't believe it. But I got to be honest with you, man. I'm not going to do a Star Wars special today. That wasn't my plan. But
No, sorry, that was just...
no. But I'm a bit over Star Wars. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
'Cause
Because you
I'm-
could see the jaws dropping around the table.
I can't get into it anymore. I've been like Nathan here. I've been burnt so many times. Like the one that comes out later this year, there is no way I'm going to go do a midnight launch for it.
Not again.
I'm done. I'm over it. I'll wait in my own good time. If a couple of the guys say, "Do you want to go and have dinner and nerd out and watch Star Wars?" weeks after the event, I might go see it. Or you know what? I'll be just as happy to watch it on cable when it comes. But I'm over it, man. Every time I've lobbed up for a midnight release of Star Wars over the last
Decade.
couple of years, I'm fucking over it, man. I walk out disappointed. It certainly doesn't do enough for me to go out and stay, because to stay up to midnight these days is a challenge in itself.
Getting old, it does that.
It's not even midnight. Then you've essentially got to stay up till 3 a.m.
Correct.
Try not to fall asleep.
Correct.
And then still drive home.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember. Do you remember the triple features they used to do at movies? Remember they used to show, maybe before your day, Nath, they used to show 3 movies back to back. You'd start off at around 8 o'clock at night or something like this.
Yep.
And you'd walk out 6 o'clock the next day. And people used to bring their pillows into the movies.
Long weekends are the only time we ever got those.
Yeah, that was
Or a
awesome.
public
I don't know if
holiday.
movies do that anymore.
I don't know.
Maybe at the Orpheum. Is it the Orpheum? It's a special theatre that shows old movies.
Newtown.
Yeah, Newtown. Yeah, they show these older movies. It's a very old cinema, and they
okay.
show like say they'll pull out randomly Aliens or Alien trilogy, they'll pull that out, and you can go there and watch that over a course of a night.
I could just do that at home any day of the
Yeah,
week.
but see, I'm like that too. I've become antisocial, and I don't like the looks of those teenagers. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be fucked with any of them.
Oh, I travel into the city every day. Trust me, it is fucking painful.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I'm just over it.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a quick thing. People, get off your fucking mobile. You're walking through the train station. You don't need to be watching a fucking YouTube fucking video.
Man.
There is a fucking pause button.
Look,
sorry.
I know that.
was waiting for the clipping.
No,
No, I tried to keep it. I was watching. the
no,
little thing.
you're not clipping at all. You're fine.
Look,
No.
I've talked about this repeatedly. I deliberately walk into people that are not looking
dude.
where they're going anymore. I'm
Has
done.
anyone
with
watched the new Black Mirror yet?
it. No, it just
I'm
came
not
out.
saying anything. Go watch that.
The last
harps on
Black
that
Mirror season, where they had that episode where you had to get ratings to get different levels of approval in society,
Yep.
is not far off the mark.
Yeah, that's what's happening in
Like
China.
well, that's that one in. They got she got invited to a friend's wedding, and she says, "Look, can you please get your approval up to I don't know, whatever it was, a 5-star or whatever it is. I won't take anyone less than 3 stars or whatever
Yeah.
it is." And she says, "But I'm working really hard." Well, no, you need to improve. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I know we're friends, but you can't come to my wedding. I'm telling you now, it's not.
I'd be stoked at that point.
Yeah, but it's not far off the mark.
It's not far off.
You
So
know?
I had one the other day in the train station talking about people walking through with, because you do the city as
Yep.
well. So I had a new one the other day. So I'm like you. If you're in my way, I have a straight line.
Yeah, I've
if
got a
you're,
straight
if you're
line.
slowing down
Yep.
in front of me because you're watching a fucking YouTube video, I got no fucking time
Yep.
or patience for you, and I will drop a fucking shoulder. End of story. I pushed a dude out of the fucking train the other
You're
day.
a pretty big bloke in terms of
He's a big
height.
boy.
Like,
I'm
he's a big boy.
110 kilos,
Yeah.
6'3". I ain't fucking gonna miss you. Fucking- sorry for the.
We're trying not to do editing
Yes, we're
today.
trying to
but
keep out
He's
the
got
evidence.
his time
He's
stamp.
time stamping it.
Oh, love
So
it.
I had two people of the young millennial times sharing a set of headphones, watching a YouTube
Oh,
video,
you shitting me.
walking up the stairs at town hall.
So romantic.
Oh,
One ear each.
No, it would have been romantic if they were lesbian sizzy thingy like you were discussing before. But no, they were
Skizzy
walking up
Timbers.
the stairs two abreast at like a snail's pace, watching a YouTube.
You know
that-
what?
Come through
Sharing
with a pair of
headphones.
fucking scissors.
I don't know about you, but I fucking hate Town Hall more than any place on earth. I hate that place. It is a absolute cock of a place. It's hot as fuck, even if it's midwinter under there on the train station. And then getting through in the morning, as you said, every motherfucker is on their phone, not looking where they're going.
No,
it
It's
takes
getting worse, man.
Oh,
mate.
it's
it is
getting worse.
It's going to be that.
clusterfuck.
What's that movie, Wall-E, where we're all fat and
What?
sitting in chairs?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, I reckon, again, if I spoke to someone like The Weapon and I said to him, "Listen, man, what do you think posture's going to be like in the future where everybody's looking down at their phone?" And you're right, they're going to
Hunchback of Notre
they're going to
Dame.
have neck problems. They're probably going to have eye problems because they're looking at that blue light radiation every 5 minutes.
Pinkies, as I was
Pinky,
saying earlier,
yeah.
they're going to be down here.
Pinkies are going to
Where
be
you hold
weird.
your phone.
It's going to be weird.
We're going to be genetically modified.
Yeah, we're going to be GMO'd.
I think we've peaked as humanity. We're fucking going backwards in a big way.
I think it's only a matter of time.
I saw a great meme the other day. It was about millenniums. How can people who were brought up on South Park and The Simpsons be so fucking soft?
Fuck.
Yeah. I told you before, I can't rant again. I'm
I
trying to
don't.
I'm trying to help sock puppet Jason Relaxation, who's just done a 14-hour trip from Seattle to Sydney today, and he's got home.
I wish it
and
was
got-
14 hours.
What was
20,
it, 17?
27 door to door.
Harden up, you fuck.
Too
But
butt hurt.
But I'm
Too
trying
much
not
of
to.
that.
I'm trying to refrain from the C word. And I'm actually trying to improve my vocabulary, but it's hard. It's not easy.
A cunning linguist you are. It would be.
I am. I'm trying very hard to refrain the swear words because I know that I swear a lot.
But they
In
say
that-
intelligent people swear more.
They do.
Well, you know what I said before when I found out about this. I fucking told you, you fucking cockhead. Fucking told you that the more intelligent people swear a lot because you know why? You get your point across. You get your point across and you say, "Listen, fuckhead," right? And people go, "Oh shit, he's got angry." Whereas if I said, "Now listen, let's talk about our feelings and cuff us, collaborate and digest what we're saying," you're a fucking wanker. You fucking smashed avocado eating. It's happening again. Oh, it's happening again. The ranting. Maybe I've got Tourette's. Remember when Cartman had Tourette's? And he's like, Kate, chew, Kate. And he goes, ooh, that was a good one.
Imagine you catch Tourette's just for a week. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I've never seen
I don't actually need
I
it.
couldn't.
I've
I've watched
never-
a few docos now. I have nothing but sympathy for
Yeah,
it.
I reckon it's
fucked up.
weird, man.
Yeah, it's
I've never met anyone that's got it. I've never seen it in real
Even
life.
just a tick.
I've
Just
got,
uncontrollable.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and-
bad.
We spend Tuesday nights with a kid with Tourette's, and I'd say his father, mate, shout out to him. The most patient guy I've ever met. Amazing to watch him.
It'd have to be.
Yeah, because it's a 9-year-old kid with Tourette's who doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's watching his father's just.
Does he randomly swear, the kid?
Oh,
Does he?
oh yeah. He says
Creative
some.
ones?
He says some wicked shit.
Maybe I've got Tourette's. Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't know, man. I got a lot else wrong with me. We'll fucking add that to the
I think it's
list.
more. I think it's just more related to us growing up in Western Sydney more than.
No,
anything
you know what it
else,
is? It's Dad. On a Saturday, Dad would watch the AFL, and if the Swans are playing, he becomes a super coach, right? And he's looking at his watch. Is the Swans on?
Swans are playing
Why,
right now.
why are you fucking bothering? They're going to lose.
I love fucking punishment.
Yeah, you do, you sick fuck.
love punishment.
But Dad would watch the Swans and he'd go, they can't even get the fucking ball. Fucking there's no Rovers. There's no one there getting the crumbs. Fuck this. Are they in
We're
the
up
lead, are they?
19-2.
What are they?
We're up 19-2.
Means dick these days, man. There's 4 quarters of football, as Kevin Sheedy used to say.
17 minutes in.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's nothing, dude. Where are they
only-
playing?
it's only just
They
started.
playing at home or are they playing away?
SCG
playing home.
Playing home.
against
Means
the
nothing
Eagles.
these days, man. Means nothing. They're hopeless. But he used to swear a lot. And Mum just gave up. She just gave up.
And she wonders why we grew
She
up
gave
with
up.
such immaculate
Yeah.
vocabularies.
She gave up, you know. But, you know, we got a cousin who tries to...
He uses the word mendacious in everyday conversation.
He promotes himself to be better than his roots.
Oh yes.
And so he'll speak in a very eloquent way, and I'll go up to him and go, "Shut up." You know what I mean? Like, to knock his legs
No,
underneath.
it's better
him.
than that. His dad says that to him.
Oh yeah, his dad says it to him. You know.
That's funny. I love those.
I love how you write the timestamps. God bless you.
Got to help this poor man. He's just been on a long flight.
That's right. It's all about.
I'm proud that we made it to 18 minutes before we dropped the word.
That's right.
I know, that was impressive.
That's
was.
good work. And speaking of work, topic of the show, workplace. That's a good segue.
You're the fucking master of the segue.
I'm pretty fucking good. Now, the reason why you two gentlemen is it's bringing a bit of a tear to my eye because you guys are reunited for probably quite a while because I know you guys as being a partner in crime situation.
The
'cause you-
dynamic duo.
A dynamic duo because you worked together for many years and the company that you worked for was a company that, well, I guess we were a customer.
Yes.
Of
you
your
were a
company.
customer. Yes, you were.
And you were a supplier. So I used to ring you guys up quite a lot on the help desk and I'd be going, it's broken again. What do I do? And you get did you reset the S-Ax? I'd be like, oh, fuck this S-Ax.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's right. That was the other one.
Have you tried turning it off and on
Yeah,
again?
yeah. that
Honestly,
was-
past that question, we just look at each other and go, ooh, something's wrong here.
Can we please call the software engineer? Software engineer, aisle 5, please.
Yeah, software engineer aisle for it. And then I'd go back to my boss and go, yeah, they've got the beaver working on it. And he'd look at me going, who the fuck? I go, yeah, the beaver's on
It
it.
was always better when we said the B
I actually-
over the Gumby. I mean, Gumby was the better one, but people go,
Yeah.
Gumby on it?
Gumby, I actually didn't know Gumby's real name, and I won't say it now, but I didn't know his real name for years. And then I found out one day because someone said, oh, he's such and such. I go, who? And they go, you might know him as Gumby. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I know that guy. I don't know this supposedly other person that you've mentioned. And I didn't know, and I still don't know, and don't say the name, I didn't know Beaver's name.
Same name.
Yeah, that's his
Is it
last
the same
name?
name?
Same name.
Same first name.
Same first name.
That's bullshit. I didn't know that.
That's why they all have nicknames.
Yeah, because I remember one day we had a catastrophe, right? And my boss comes up to me and he says, well, are they working on it? I go, yeah, they've got Beaver on it. And he goes, who the fuck's Beaver? I go, I don't know, apparently he's shit hot. He's good as the other guy. He's good as Gumby. Who the fuck's Gumby? He goes, what kind of show are they running over there? I go, I don't know, but Gumby's pretty good and this Beaver's apparently good as this Gumby. It was a clusterfuck, mate.
Oh, it was an interesting place to work.
I used to come to your place of work and I'd have meetings with the upper echelon there a couple of times. And the first time I met you guys in that little dingy office you had, you had these brand new chairs that the Oc Health and Safety Officer had bought you, and I was so envious. I'm like, I'm like, fuck, they're the chairs I should, because I went over the story when I had an ergonomic assessment, and they went over everything but my broken fucking chair that I'd reported 6 months prior. So I go to lost my fucking mind because I see the what do you call it, the chairs with the plastic, like they were like plastic and they were awesome, and I'm like mesh and I'm like, I want those chairs. So I went back to the Oc Health and Safety Officer and said, I want that fucking chair. We can't afford it. Of course we fucking can't. How much money did we make last year? We can't afford it.
I think that backfired massively for them because they're like, oh, we're going to look like we're doing the right things. That cost them a lot of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
Just us two, I think, was probably 3, 4, 5 grand.
Yeah.
Stands, this, that, chairs.
But what I loved is you both named your chairs.
She was a
General Akbar.
I was Admiral Akbar.
Admiral Akbar, and you.
I can't remember what it was I? I can't remember.
But it was awesome. And this guy had his Star Wars metal lunchbox on his desk.
It's a good lunchbox.
And you had shoes as well. You had Star Wars shoes.
I got 2 pair of them.
Fuck, that was so. When I met this guy, I think I met him after I met you, Rocket Russell, or something.
Long time after. You guys would have known each other.
Yeah, right.
Like a year or two.
Yeah, because he went through a plethora of fucking men children, right? and he discarded all of them, right? He everyone that sat next to him in that chair, they got fucked, right? And they didn't last 2 minutes. And then I knew you must have been pretty cool, Nervous Nath, because you'd stuck with him for a while. And I go, who's this Nervous Nathan guy like? He goes, oh, he's pretty good. And I came over there, and here he was with his Star Wars shoes, his Star Wars metal lunchbox, and General Akbar on the chair. Or Admiral Akbar, sorry, on the chair. And I thought, man, this guy, he's an interesting character.
Bit of a weirdo, really, isn't he?
Yeah, fucking weirdo. He's into these fleshlights with porn star modded vaginas.
Hopefully not Admiral Akbar's.
I reckon he'd have some nice shit going on down there, I reckon.
You know what?
It's a trap.
Pedro and I
used
used to have this theory that General Akbar would be awesome selling Slurpees because he had floppy hands and he couldn't pick his Slurpee cup up, but he always went like this, it's a trap, as he's slurping on a Slurpee. It was stupid. We fucking came up with some stupid shit, you know.
Shout out to the SP.
Shout out to the suppressive person. I almost booked him last night. I was so fucking close. I had him. We were playing Halo. I was telling Rocket Russell, oh, you heard it in the car coming up. I had him. Almost booked Jason Relaxation because he felt sorry for me because he heard about my cat dying, right? And he goes, oh, what happened here? And I go, oh, I don't know, man. The only thing that will cheer me up is if you come on the podcast. And I fucking had him. But then then he smelled a rat and he backed off and that was it. I blew it, you know. He became a suppressive personality
So back to
again.
2021?
2020.
2020.
But I reckon it's going to be 2021 like the Formula One regulations, right? And then as we get closer to 2021, he'll change his mind again. He'll be like, fuck, man. So now you're saying 2022, the new agreement will come in, you know? It'll be like that. No, I had him very, very close. But the workplace, I've got a great fucking story about workplace shenanigans because this is what this topic of the show is. So you know what you do, you little fuck? Roll it, monkeys. Did they roll it?
Yep.
Got a great story. We go back to 1999. And in 1999, I was working in the city, would you believe, for a previous company, the one that you met me in, right?
Yep.
So this situation was I got transferred from one division that they had, and I moved in. They said to me, look, I just finished uni, and they said, look, you finished uni now, do you want to do some work in our HR department? And do you want to do some project work that they've got going on in their HR department? I thought, yeah, cool, because I kind of messed up at uni. I should have done HR, if I'm honest. I should have majored in that rather than marketing. I fucked up.
So you could be one of those annoying fucks.
I could have been, right?
Fucking HR, man.
Don't do
right,
that.
right up there with marketing.
Don't say that. We've got to be respectful. Fuck off, corporate world. But anyway, I went to their head office in the city, and I did some work in their HR department. And after a while, they said to me in there, they go, look, there's another project going on in finance. Do we want to send you over to there? Are you cool with that? And I said, look, I don't know shit about finance. They're like, no. We're going to send you as part of our training and development department in HR to do some work in their finance department. I went, all right, cool. So I get to their finance department, and the finance manager says, I'm going to set you up in this chair here. There's your computer. Put all your get yourself set up, and then come and see me, and I'll tell you what I want you to do. And I'm like, okay, cool. So as I'm setting myself up, I didn't really notice it at first, but then I heard this, hey, paisan. And I turn around, and here's this guy. He would have been in his 50s back then. He goes, hey, you come from HR? I said, yeah. He goes, I just fucked them, bro. Right? And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, I fucked them. I go, well, how did you do that? He says, well, I was the first person that had more leave in hours than any other person, and they had to add an extra digit on the hours, over 1,000, and their system couldn't cope. And I fucked them, bro. And I said, oh, okay, here we go. And I'll say his name because it's going to be really hard for me to not say the name. His name was Tony, right? That's an indication of where we're at, right? And he says, yeah, and I fucked him again. I said, oh, how'd you do that, Tony? He says, I'm going on a honeymoon. I go, oh, yeah. So what had happened was, long story short, after about 50 plus years, he got married off. His mum married him off, right? And he was going to take a holiday all over the world, and he'd cashed in every bit of leave that he ever had. That was ridiculous amounts of hours. And he'd worked with a company 20 plus years, had all this ridiculous long service leave, ridiculous annual leave, all this stuff. And so he cashed it all in, and he goes, yeah, but they can't cope with it, bro. They fucked me up with my leave loading, and I'm in dispute with them now. He goes, can you help me? I go, no, man, I'm just here for some bullshit project I've got to help the finance manager with. He goes, man, I'm looking for someone to talk to, man. I go, fuck, here we go. Why is it always me? And he's chattering me about, he found out that my background was part Italian and all this stuff. So he loved me because he was full blown Italian. Hard fucking core. And he said, and then it gets to like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He goes, hey, paisan. He used to call me, hey, paisan. He goes, you want a coffee? I went, yeah, all right, cool. So I follow him. They used to have like a little kitchenette, and he starts making coffee. He goes, fuck this shit, bro. Fuck this. I go, what's wrong, Tony? He goes, look at the fucking insult that they give us, this coffee. It's an insult. I can't drink this shit. I said, well, what are we going to do? We can't go outside to the cafe. It's too far. Like, the finance manager won't let us do that. He goes, oh, I got a fucking idea, bro. I go, oh, yeah, here we go. You know what his idea was? The next day he comes in with a fucking coffee machine that he's bought in from home. And I'm talking not just any coffee machine. I'm talking the real fucking deal. The one where you grind your own beans and you put it in a little coffee pot thing and you stick it on and you put it up against the machine and you pressurize the water and all that. He bought this in. And he goes, let's try it. So we tried it and it was pretty good. Next thing you know, people got word of it. So every afternoon at 2 o'clock, we had a fucking line of people. We had our own little cafe. He called it Tony's Cafe. Right? This went out of control. But the finance manager, God bless him, he was such a nice guy. And I think it was his first gig in upper management. He was a very young guy, you know. And he didn't know what to do with us because he was like, guys, maybe you should not do that as much as you do because you're sort of wasting other people's time. I'm like, yeah, we're cool, man. We've got it under control. We'll get better at it. Well, mate, it fucking went for like 45 minutes every day. We're making people coffee. But then it got a little bit out of control because someone dobbed this in and they said, like, you're messing up the kitchenette. You're going to have to move the coffee machine, which Tony was happy with because someone, he reckons, tampered with his coffee machine. And this is where it gets good. He says, someone's tampered with a coffee machine, I'm going to move it. I go, where are you going to move it, Tony? He goes, well, paisan, there's a spare desk behind you. Let's put it there, and then everyone can have a coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, bro. It's no problem. I go, oh, fuck, here we go. I knew this was a bad idea. So the first day, he's there making coffee, and I'm not making this up. Something went wrong with the machine. He hadn't packed it in enough, or he hadn't put the little lever onto the machine tight enough, And under pressure, I'm not kidding you, it exploded. And these burnt coffee beans went fucking everywhere. I mean, everywhere. All over computer equipment, all over the carpet, everywhere. And it happened just as the CEO of the company walked in, and he was walking over freshly ground burnt coffee beans that were on the carpet, right? And not only that, we fucked the carpet because it burnt the carpet, right? And he walked over there and he goes, what's going on? And Tony, being Tony, he was so creative, he held up a coffee and he goes, coffee for you? Are you fucking serious? I looked at him and go, mate, you're a fucking maniac. And then I said, mate, what are you doing? He goes, they won't fucking sack me, bro. I fucking know everything about finance. They can't sack me. I go, I think they fucking can, Tony. We just blew up the frigging coffee machine in the finance division of this company. And the finance manager came over and he says, look, the CEO's had a bit of a word. You need to close up shop. Tony got really upset by it. He goes, but we're going to let people down. The finance manager goes, what do you mean, Tony? He goes, mate, people depend on us. And then he had this argument where he says people depend on us because if we don't make coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, productivity is going to go down because people rely on our coffee for like their perk up in the afternoon. It's good for morale, and people are just going to go fuck you, and then they're going to walk out to the cafe, which was about a 20-minute walk. So he had it all into his mind that this was actually a good idea, right? He says, we're helping the company, bro. That's what he used to call it. He goes, we're helping the company. And the finance manager was the only time ever somebody goes, now listen, bro, don't call me bro, right? And he says, it's over. I want it over. And for the rest of the afternoon, Cody said, fuck this place, man. If it wasn't for my leave, I'd fuck this shit. And he left the coffee machine on the spare table as a memorial. And when people used to come around at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they go, are you doing coffee today, Tony? He goes, nah, man, go talk to those fucking idiots. They won't let me do anything anymore, will they, little bro? Will they, paisan? And I'm like, no, fuck, I'm staying out. I don't want any part of this shit. Why's it me? But Tony got shut down in 1999. Tony's Cafe got shut down at a very large corporation in the city. It was a tragedy. I remember it fondly, but it's done.
But we had one in the dungeon, didn't we?
We were very lucky.
I brought in a coffee machine into the dungeon because I was sick and tired of walking.
Russell was a bit of a master of wheeling and dealing around the office. So when we relocated from North Ryde, a number of items that had been scheduled to go to certain places finally found their way into our little dungeon.
Look, they said
Had
put
a
a
coffee
sticker on
machine.
it. If you wanted it, put a sticker on it. Just because I put it over the top of the boardroom stickers doesn't mean anything. I wanted it more.
Where'd you transfer?
It was a fridge.
We picked up a fridge. We had the coffee machine on the
Coffee
fridge.
machine, microwave,
A couple of nice monitors.
couple of really nice monitors, $1,200 chairs.
Fuck, I've got catering things at home. These really nice ornate jugs.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
What about that?
Mum and
shit
Dad's
as
got
well?
them. Quite nice.
Oh, yeah, you know. Stuff.
You guys had an awesome setup where you were. It wasn't like a nice view of the world.
It was a shithole.
But it was
But it was our shithole.
your
was our
shithole, yeah.
You know, it was a nice office considering there was a 120-pound press in front of us that was continuously.
They worked right near this big metal press. Oh, it was horrific. I used to look at it and go, fuck me. How many people have cut themselves on that?
Roll forming machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a roll form, but around the corner was the press that punched the holes, and that was all day. That was douche, 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 douche.
It sounded like
like a
a
German
nightclub.
disco.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a nightclub.
So we've
Discord,
walked,
Discord.
when they first gave us this office, we went, what the fuck is this? Oh, it'll do. I'm like, mate,
We were pissed off. But
I'm on the phone with customers every day. How am I meant to do that with a 120-pound press on and this roll form? We end up getting them to they put in an airlock.
Yep.
They put in the airlock.
Built an airlock for us.
And then they fucking built had double glazed windows put
Yep.
in, trying to get the noise down. Just would have been easier and cheaper just to move to
offices.
another office. But no.
But we were left alone for the most part, which is really good.
That's because the IT boys.
Yeah,
have
you
to
guys
get
are on
stuck
your
in it.
own. You guys were like,
Untouchable.
you could pretty much just do whatever you wanted to do. Like, no one was near them at all. Because then the main
had a-
office was away from you guys.
We spent 6 months building a Minecraft.
Yeah, we had a Minecraft server. We had a DayZ server. We had some good fun, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And when the boss got involved, and then, when the boss is doing it, hey, we just got to follow suit.
Oh, yeah.
We had quite a Minecraft server going.
It was
DayZ
epic.
as well for quite a while. But then that blew up and we got shut down. The feds were after us, man. Got too real.
But it was just so dodgy. Everything was so dodgy.
But in saying that, as you probably know, with a help desk type role, which you might know because you'd have people like that under you. Sometimes, when it's time to do work, we did fucking work and we worked very hard and we got shit done.
But the downtimes you were
when
down.
there was downtimes, you had to be creative. So Minecraft was brilliant.
Yeah.
Minecraft, DayZ.
I used to ring these guys up and go, listen, can we just get the bad stuff out of the way first and I'll let you do what you got to do. Then we'll talk about the good shit. And the good shit was, did you fucking watch the race? Oh my God. Or it was like, oh, you're gonna be home tonight to play Borderlands? Yeah, cool. I'll be on,
F1 2013, 2014.
So F1 2012 rocks up. This is the game.
I think this is when you might have been gone to Tassie then.
Yeah, you'd left. I think you'd left.
Yes, my sabbatical.
Your sabbatical. And Nathan and I decided we'd play F1 2012 because it was the first game in a long time that had like a co-op championship part of it. And so we would go home every day. We'd coordinate it through the day and go, all right, I'll be on at 8 o'clock. We'll play this game. And we did the whole season, right? But it got fucking out of control, man. It was
all fun and games early on.
Then
when the championship was anyone's.
Then there was a Prost and Senna moment, right? Where I think he nerfed me off the track. Right? He nerfed me off the track and gone, fuck, man, you just want to win the championship. This is bullshit, man. And he'd be like...
It fucking rained in Dubai for
That's
fuck's
right.
sake.
So we get to Dubai.
Does it ever rain there?
Mate, this is the best bit. The championship went to the very end, and every day at work, he'd be ringing me up, right, or sending me an email going, are you on tonight? The championship decider. This got fucking built up, man. I'm like, yeah, you prick, we're on, right? And so we got it so there was no distractions, I've got to race out and order a pizza, none of his, nervous Nath little classic moments. Where he
11
orders,
o'clock.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
We had
I don't think he's familiar with 11 o'clock.
and we I think it was down to 1 point or it was even.
I remember Brazil, and
That's
you were
right.
just ahead, and then it started fucking raining. You went in for intermediates. I stayed out. Then you only had to come. It was almost like Hamilton in.
I had to come fourth
You had
or
to come
fifth,
seventh
yeah.
or something. Anyway, I finally caught up, got up to 6. I'm like, I'm a chance to stay in this.
That's
year.
right.
And then I fucking binned it into the wall.
That's right. And this is the
I was
best bit.
fucking shattered.
So Brazil, he had a massive points lead, and I came in for inters like he said, and it was obviously dynamic weather. And so I got inters, and I just stayed on the inters, and I had no problems. But I think he stayed on the slicks or wet weather tyres. Or slicks.
Went on the slicks, and I went on the wet, and then it's sunny, and then I went.
That's
back
right, and his tyres got burnt up, and he put it in the wall, and all I hear on the party chat is, "Fuck this, man! This fucking game! I could have won it. I could have won it today, but I don't." And I go, "Well, there you go. That's karma, bitch, because you did the Prost and Senna where you nerfed me off the track." So I said to him, "All right, it's come down now to the last race, right? It's come down to Abu Dhabi, right?
Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo, Abu Dhabi, right? It came down to that. And so he says, all right, cool. Let's do it now. I said, no, I'm not fucking doing it now. I'm going to do it when I'm fresh. I'm not going to...
He kept me fucking...
Yeah, I kept him waiting for 2 weeks. I said to him, it's going to be like the proper F1. I'm not going to do it tonight. So then what happened was we planned it all out, and then we got onto the Xbox 360 because it was on there at that stage. And we played it, and I said to him before it even opened up, I said, if this is raining in Abu Dhabi, I'm calling bullshit. It never fucking rains, right? Yep. And guess what? The race started, and it was pissing down. And I couldn't stop laughing, and he couldn't stop laughing either. And I think we both crashed out, didn't we? And because I
won, I remember I won, but you were that far ahead.
I had to.
You were ahead enough that you only had to finish like 5th or 6th or something, and you did that. You come second.
Yeah, I came second.
And I was semi-praying for you to crash.
The whole way, he's like
sure it was semi-praying.
The whole way, it's like this. Oh, I got a semi-erection. That's fucking bullshit too. But
what are you saying? 0 or 100?
Zero. It's 0 or 100 with me, man. That's
Fluxed
it. It just so happens that it looks, when it's fully erect, it still looks like it's a cyst. It doesn't.
Jesus fuck.
Sorry, just on a side note.
No, I haven't finished the story, but yeah, go on.
Bixby Vision.
Yes.
My daughter has.
Did you look at it?
Daughter has a wart on her finger at the moment that we're getting cut off. What do you think Bixby Vision says it is?
A cyst.
A parcel.
A parcel.
It's a fucking parcel. Sorry. Okay. Back.
So
clearly
Bixby is
like a box to be
That's what I'm
delivered.
thinking of. That's all I can think of.
Still hope for you to upgrade yet.
there might be hope that maybe I actually have a proper doodle, but we don't really know, do we? But going back to the F1 2012, right? Look at sock puppet Jason Relaxation. He just goes, I want this to end. I want to get my proper sleep because I've come from Seattle and Los Angeles. No, what happened was
already. No fucking way.
what?
Fuck
How
off.
long? How long have we gone this bullshit?
45.
All right.
We haven't even fucking discussed any of the fucking
it's all right.
shenanigans yet. That's all good. It's all
I've
good.
got a couple of shenanigans. So he's bitching and moaning in my ear going, oh, I've never won anything. I fucking can't win shit. Fuck my life. Fuck everything. And I'm like giggling the whole way to victory. And here's the best bit. A couple of days go by and at work I get a random parcel from the internal mail or the external mail. And it's literally a pack of Cool Mints.
Eclipse Mints.
Eclipse
green,
Mints.
Spearmint flavour.
And on the back it says F1 World Champion 2012. I've still got it.
Still got it? Yeah.
I've still got it.
Moulded it into the shape.
Yeah.
Semi-shape.
Oh, fucking! I pissed myself so much. I rang him up. I go, thanks for the trophy. And then I said, are we on for next year? And I don't think we ever really did. Did we do it next year?
We did the next year, and then I was a bit luckier the next year, and I won by a fair bit.
Yeah, you went, but yeah, I didn't.
And we never did it again.
Because they never offered it.
Dead
dude.
rubber.
No, they never offered the feature of doing
It's
co-op.
still not in 2019.
Isn't it?
It
That
was
was
2018. It's
some of
not.
the most fun I've ever had playing games, I think.
I thought
That
2019
got
might come
really...
back.
It was
I
all
don't
fun and games halfway through the season because, then it got to a point it got really fucking serious.
We weren't mucking
Because
around, man.
I pulled ahead by quite
Yep.
a bit.
We were not mucking
And
around.
then he caught up, and then he overtook me, and then...
How many laps were you doing?
We're doing like
12 or
25%
something?
distance. So it
10
took
or
us
12 laps?
It took us about an hour to do the
It
race.
was a pit stop
That's
and
about the
stuff.
right. That's about the right.
And we were
length.
doing
Yeah.
pit stops.
Any longer than that gets
We
frustrating.
were doing pit stops.
Yeah.
We were doing practice sessions. We were doing qualifying. We did the whole shebang, man.
Jesus fuck.
Oh, mate,
It
this
was
was
good fun.
fucking hardcore serious. And that's why I said to him, no, you're not pulling a bullshit stunt with me on like going, well, can we race now? No, we're going to wait till next week now. So I kept him in suspense for a week.
In the meantime, you're practicing your ass
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Quick offline, so you know.
He
I
had
got
a
another-
week
I got
off work, I think, after that.
What happened?
I think you had a week. Isn't that when you had that week off work?
Just to practice.
No.
I'm just stirring.
We've
No.
done that. We've done that many times for games, though.
Oh, I've done a lot that for games. I've done a lot of like I've got to have a day off for. I did that with Skyrim. I took a whole day off because I knew once I got it, I wasn't interested in work that day.
I think I might have had a cold inverted commas that week.
Here's my. I remember Halo. Which Halo was it?
Oh, if it's 2,
I think it was 2.
Yeah.
On the 360 was it?
No.
No, it was actually Xbox One. Was it the
the
original?
original, yeah, Halo 2 was original Xbox.
Original Xbox, and was it the first co-player over 2 Xboxes, wasn't it?
Yes, because the big thing with that is a cousin of mine and his mate is a ginger. Shout out to him.
Soulless fuck.
He Shadow Walker. They both lined up at midnight to get their Halo 2 game, right? And I never forget this. I'll never forget this because I get a phone call probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon from my cousin, and he says, "We're shattered." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We finished it." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It was shit. The ending was terrible. We're shattered. We're gutted." And they said, "I can't believe we lined up at midnight for this game." And I want to talk to like,
Fuck, like they didn't line up for Red Dead Redemption.
well, I
2.
want to talk about
remember
another
that,
time. I
remember
want to
that
talk,
evening?
Yeah, I want to talk about lineups at midnight and games we got that was shit. But they were shattered. But Halo 2 was like the big.
Because that was the first co-op, wasn't it? Was it the first? I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it is because the original was not
Because
co-op.
we actually rearranged my entire lounge room. So we put... Because my couch at the time wasn't comfy enough for an extended play
You know
session.
what? You're right because that
So
was the big selling feature
It
of
was.
it. Yeah.
And we moved the couch out to the balcony, and my balcony chairs were so much more comfortable. So we
brought
put
those
them
in.
We brought them in. And we had illegal substances there as well because we knew this was going to be a big day. And
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Shout out to a certain fuck who knows who he is, who should be giving me gummy bears. But in the meantime,
Gummy bears
I-
bouncing here.
I
there,
might
and-
have secured fucking cookies.
I could have brought some up for you.
I want to be supervised because it's knowing my luck, I'll fucking die.
Cool. We'll do it soon.
Do
I
we
got
do
some
it?
at my place.
Is this on a podcast that we do this?
I'm nervous about taking it because I reckon I'll fucking snuff it. I've got no luck at all. If I had any luck, I'd have no
I
luck.
have a feeling that's definitely not going to happen.
Probably
Mind you, I
not.
was just in Seattle, Holy fuck, they like to chuff on their pot.
Yeah.
Is it legal
It's
there?
legal.
It's totally legal. Like we went
Washington
to
State.
so we went to Pike Markets, that sort of area around there, just for a work function, mate. We were getting stoned just off the fucking passive smoke.
You know what? I went to a Cypress Hill gig when they came out here last time. This is a couple of years ago, and I swear, hand on heart, I didn't take anything that day or that night, and 100% I was stoned walking out, and that was just from
Cypress Hill. What do you expect?
Being next to people that were going, fuck this. This was at the end wall, and people were just lighting up, right? And you would just get stoned. I walked out with fucking pink eyes. Scott Baio
UB40 did that to us.
UB40
Within
did.
about 5 seconds of the lights going off, it was just a plume. It's brilliant. It's good times.
That's brilliant.
But yeah, so we sat there with mood enhancing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we sat there for like 16 hours straight just playing Halo 2.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, I remember it being a big deal because Microsoft pumped that right up because I'm sure you're right. It was
I'm
the
pretty
first.
sure it was the
I think you are. It's the first co-op.
Over 2 Xboxes.
Yeah, because that's when they'd launched Xbox Live. So this is 2004, I'm thinking. I'm pulling that out of my ass.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
Because the original Halo was 2001. It was...
Yeah. That would have been right because I was at a certain soft drink manufacturer at that stage. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was the big...
Hey?
Beppis.
What?
Never mind.
I worked for the company. I don't even know what the fuck.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Beppis.
No, I know
Meme culture.
I know who he's talking about because he used to work across the road.
I
from
know
where
the place he worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It was across the road from where I worked. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Me
we
and
worked
my
across the
fucking
road
meme
from each other
culture.
for what? Probably 5-6 years.
Not knowing that.
each other.
Not
And then I
knowing
went
that.
to the other company and yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting how that happens quite a
We
lot.
probably would have drove
Yeah.
and pulled. I probably would have abused him because he was one of those dickheads going into that other driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never did. I always parked on the street because that driveway, and as you know, that car park
yeah.
was shit. I never parked in there. Fuck that. And I had this thing. I always used to face my car towards home, and people used to go, "Why do you do that?" I go, "It's good feng shui. My car's facing home. Fuck this place." That's what I used to say.
Remember, Dad always used to go, as you're driving on the freeway, just pick a spot somewhere on the freeway and just think to yourself, at some point this afternoon, I'll be coming back past there.
Dad got so depressed about work.
He fucking
He
hated it.
hated his work towards the end of his career.
Fucking hated
Like
his job.
Dad got to a point where he'd worked for all of his life, and he's gone, fuck this, right? He'd been through redundancies, he'd been through reshuffles, he'd been shafted, and all he ever done in his life was work hard. And so he was always saying to me, you know what? If you fucking hate everything, just remember at some point you'll be coming back home.
See, my thing is, I worked at a warehouse in New Zealand recently, and it's a warehouse for a rather large company in New Zealand. And I always think back to when I walk through that place. They have ladies standing there who sort out coat hangers.
Could be worse, yeah.
So whenever I think I'm having a
Could be
shit
worse.
day, I was like, I could be standing at those
Yeah.
pallets because I don't have a desk. It's just pallets they've stacked up,
Yeah.
sorting out coat hangers. It's like, yeah.
But you know what I was saying before we even thought about this topic? I might have said it to Super Simon or someone like that, was that the workplace towards the end of my career changed so much from when like that story I told you about Tony the coffee maker, that was in the 90s.
That shit would not fly
the
now.
90s were ridiculously different from today, right? And the 90s were like apparently so watered down compared to the shit that used to happen in the 70s from guys that I was working with that said, mate, you reckon this is wild? You should have been here in the fucking 70s. I heard stories where they used to string people up on pallets and fucking nail them to a pallet like Jesus Christ and left them there for the day. That's no bullshit. And in the 90s, I'll give you another little story. This company I was working for in the 90s, this is no fucking bullshit. In their change room, in the lockers, right, in the change room, in the toilets, in
They'd
the
have
bathroom.
porn and shit everywhere.
He fucking remembers it because he worked there too. Mate, wall to wall, from the ground to the ceiling. The boy somehow managed to plaster it on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Picture magazines, the centerfold, and it was like a work of art. I'm not kidding you,
Yeah,
mate.
so-
And they used to go out of their way, they had a goal. They were going to plaster every square inch of that fucking room.
We won't
with
ask what they use for glue.
No, we won't ask. Yeah, you fucking had to do that. But they plastered it wall to wall with picture mag.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, most people there knew about. In fact, everyone knew about it, and no one gave a fuck, including the women. But what happened was one day, unfortunately, they did go too far, And they did start putting not just boobs up there, they were putting fucking fleshlights up there. You know what I mean? Like the proper thing, they're putting pussies up there. And so one lady, an elderly lady or older lady, she walked in there one day. I don't know why she walked in there, but she saw it. Maybe she saw it as the door was swinging open or shut, and she's gone, nah, I'm not having that. And she went to management. And this was an era when management didn't really know what the fuck to do with it. And I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this as long as I live. The guy that was managing the facility, he called me up. And I thought, wow, fuck, has he got something on me? I used to laugh at it and look at it. You know what I mean? I thought it was awesome. But I was only a young kid, you know. And he called me up. He says, listen, man, you're going to uni. This is before I finished uni. And he says, you want to be a manager someday? And I said, yeah, that's my game. That's my goal. He says, all right. In about half an hour, I'm going to do something that's really ugly, right? And just remember this day, and remember that if you're a manager, you got to make tough decisions, because I'm about to make one. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're going to fucking know what it's going to be, the outcome of it, in half an hour. And what it involved was he sacked 3 blokes over it, right? Because he called them all up and said, listen, I can't have you guys doing that. And apparently what I didn't know was they'd done it many, many times before, and they'd been given little warnings and shots across the bow and, hey, you better pull your head in. But they weren't listening, and he was gone.
Yeah, mind you, I remember this facility quite well.
You know what I'm talking about.
I used to work there as well.
Yeah, and the guy said to me, and when it happened afterwards, he called me up again. He goes, you know what's now happened? Do you now know what I was telling you? And have you got he goes, and he said it to me. This was the 90s. He says, have you got the balls to do what I did today? And if you don't fucking get into management, and you might as well do something else.
I mean, you've done it. It's one of the hardest things to do, man.
I did a lot of shit when I was working that is ugly, and I don't want to get into it. But at the end of the day, yeah, you had to make some tough decisions. And there were a lot of people that when you left, they were like going, oh, good, fuck him. And you go, all right, well, I don't give a fuck. And I'll never forget, there was another classic saying, and shout out to him, he knows who he is because he listens to this, and God bless him. He used to say to me, hey, if you want to make a friend, buy a puppy dog. Because if you get into management, you don't make friends, you want a friend, buy a puppy dog. Because you won't make a friend,
no.
Right? Because if you think you're going to make friends with people in that position, guess what? They'll turn on you, because there's going to be a point. This is what this guy was telling me the day that he sacked a couple of blokes over the Picture Magazine fiasco of 1999, right? I think it might have been 1998 actually. And he said, mate, I'm going to be very unpopular for a few weeks, but they're going to learn. They have to learn, because it only takes one person to complain, and if the manager doesn't do anything, well, guess what? It goes even further up the chain. And that's what he said. He goes, I have to protect myself now, because he said to me, quote unquote, I personally don't mind, right? Boys will be boys, but guess what? Someone's complained, they've taken offence, fuck it, I have to do something now, because if I don't, the person above me is going to come to me and say, you either fix it or I'll get someone that will fix it.
Yep.
And that's the world that we live in, but it's become so, it's a landmine now. Like you basically can't
say anything anymore.
No, you can't step sideways without upsetting somebody.
I remember being at a certain soft drink company, and I turned around. So I was one of my weekly tasks was staff sales of said fizzy sugar water.
Oh, I've got a cracking story about that. You go on.
So I'm going through the invoices.
Yep.
And we had a gentleman from a faraway country who was not of a white.
Okay, yeah, I got a story about this.
So
okay.
I jokingly, because I mean you all know me, I give 2 flying fucks a lot of the time. I've turned around to him and gone, Mr. Such and Such, 5 cases of lemonade. Are you selling these on the black market? Next thing I'm in front of HR going that I've been racist.
Yeah,
and I went, what the fuck? And we've had a complaint from Mr. Lemonade that you were very racist towards him. I asked him if he was selling something on the black market. It's like, yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, but it's called the black market.
It's called the black market.
I got a story about that kind of relates to that, but it's the opposite, right? I used to work for a food company, and I was working on a major project with this food company to replace their major ERP system, right? This is back in the very, very late 90s, early 2000s, right? And I got in good with a lot of people on the factory floor, and I got in good with the QC people. And so I used to go in there going, fuck, that looks good. Can I have that? And they go, yeah, man, just ask us. Whatever you want, we'll give it to you. And it got to the point where the couple of guys that were working in there, they were like, they put a box aside for me. You remember this? Mm-hmm. I used to bring home boxes of shit, right? And they just say, they put my name on it and say, here you go, when you come in the afternoon, because I was doing like afternoon shift or whatever it was, take it home. Cool, right? And one day I got pulled up by management, and one of these guys was a cock, right? And if I had the balls that I've got now, I would have fucking decked him, right? He calls me up and he says, mate, you've been on camera, you've been stealing. I said, what? He says, well, we got you on camera last night loading your boot in your car full of different products, and you've been putting him in the back. And I said, all right, well, let me give you my side. He goes, I don't want to hear your side of the story. I said, all right, are you HR? Have you got the position to sack me? Because if you don't, I don't want to discuss this with you anymore. I want a HR representative, you fuck, right? And he says, all right, we'll get your HR representative. I said, all right, if you want to go down that path, but you're going to look pretty silly pretty quick. He says, what'd you say to me? I said, you're going to look very silly really quick if you don't hear my side of the story, because my side of the story is you'll find out that I was given authorization by the QC manager to take all that shit home because they were about to throw it out. He goes, bullshit. Let's bring him in. And they brought the guy in and he goes, oh, yeah, no, we gave it all to him last night. And, yeah, we asked him to save his back, load the car up and put it all in the boot of his car because we thanked him for helping us on, showing us all this shit on the system. He goes, yeah, I said he could have it. It was either that or we're going to throw it out. I turned to this guy and go, you happy now? And he fucking hated me, this prick. And this is the one thing I don't miss about the workplace is people like these fuckwits that think their shit doesn't stink or they're arrogant fucks. And I'll call them out now because I've got nothing left to lose in life, right? I've fucking seen more shit than these pricks have seen in a fucking in a day of work, right? And these guys will go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know this, or they'll accuse somebody of such and such. I fucking wrote him beautiful letters to protect his ass in the haven't I? Mm-hmm. I constructed letters for him, and I said, listen, if you send this letter off to your cohorts, you're fucked, you know this, but I'll construct it so that they're fucked too.
I love those kind of letters.
Mm-hmm. I wrote letters for him. I said, listen, this is bullshit what they're saying about you. Let me write something up. And he was firing it off to their HR department and they went into a fucking whirlwind of panic, right? But I called them out. But when you're younger, you're kind of vulnerable because you don't know the world, right? And so you're like, mate, this guy's in his 40s, his 50s as a senior manager. This guy's been around for like 20 years. He's accusing me of stealing. I didn't fucking steal. This bloke gave me this shit, and I'll put one even better. The guy that gave it to me, and I don't want to bring race into it, but he was black. And he was one of my mates. And he says, oh, I'll give it to you. Oh, fuck, mate. Yeah.
But it's generally the upper management that are more, prone to take that kind of stuff than the lower management.
Yeah. But I said to him, look, if you want me to bring it back, I'll bring it back. Right? And then we got the QC guy, and he goes, well, if you bring him back, I'm just going to throw him out anyway. He goes, it was either going to go there, the bin, or the staff shop. But because we got so much of it, because they had some issue with the bottling process that they had that particular evening, fuck it. They gave it to me because I helped them out with all their other bullshit. All right, well, fucking... And this guy, I knew I had him over a barrel because he's like giving it to me. I go, well, all right. But I was shitting myself too because you're a young guy. And all of a sudden, you got this guy, and I was kind of getting close to saying, you know what, you can shove your job up your ass, you fuck. Because what they didn't know, but I knew at the time was, I'd conspired with Pedro to go on the fucking backpacking tour for fucking 4 months, and I was going to quit anyway. So if this prick wanted me to give him my resignation, I would have given it to him quite happily. But I would have missed out on a couple of months of pay. But you also don't want that on your record either. You don't want to be told that you've been let go. You want to be told... I left on my own terms. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But, see some stupid shit. Like I first started at the sugar water place I worked at, we were cleaning up from a state manager who had been busted for, I reckon, $1.3 million worth of stolen stock.
Wow.
Oh,
had his own warehouse, not as big as our one, of course. But, as a truck was going out, he'd stand there and if there was an empty space on the truck, he'd get a pallet of something put on there.
Shit.
Oh, he knew the destination of the truck.
Well, no, he didn't care. He'd just go, oh, there's an empty space in there. Here you go, put that pallet on there, take it to this warehouse here. which was the warehouse that he owned, had its own storeman, had its own fax machine, had its own forklift.
Oh, that's
So,
dodgy,
had
but
been doing-
creative.
Oh, very creative.
Kind of. I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, but having his own storeman and everything, and
He's got some balls though. Fucking hell.
You just can't get away with that in the modern world anymore.
Not the way things
No.
are tracked.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
now.
think so.
Story of my grandfather. So he drove trucks and bobcats his whole life. Just going back mid 80s, doing a big job. It was a hotel over at Brighton Les Sands. Anyway, the job was go in, excavate. Fuck all this sand off. We don't want it. Do whatever with it. We'll pay you to fuck it off. Meanwhile, he's doing another job, Pitt Street for Telstra. Fuck, we need clean fill, boys. Get in as much as you can. So he's taking it out of here, dropping it in here, getting paid both ends to fucking... Everyone was happy, but if
you
you
know
were to
what?
do that now,
Yep.
that'd
No.
be corruption.
No, but back in those days, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That was so common, even in my early working career, where if I helped this guy out in the QC lab, he'd go, you know what? You know, Retro Dan likes that particular stuff. I'll put it in the box for him because he likes it. No one thought anything of it, right?
No.
And now, no, you couldn't do that now.
You could-
There'd be so many checks and measures in
Mate, you
place.
can't even get a fucking t-shirt. out of
No,
them
you
anymore.
can't
No,
do shit.
Speaking
now.
of T-shirts, where are they?
Yeah, yes, that's the point. Because these two asked me on the way up, "Where's our
no,
t-shirts?"
not to him. I wasn't going to get into it because, I don't want to seem like I've asked for it.
Where are the
Fucking
t-shirts?
asked
You
for
did order them.
I've ordered them. I've ordered a stack. They just haven't shipped them.
So you got a secret warehouse that we don't know
Something
about?
must be wrong.
Yeah,
Speak to your storeman.
Yeah, they're in China.
Oh, what problem? We'll make a what?
Well, they order extra large or they silly over beast round. That is problem. You order black color. We only got white color. It's problem. You know the same people that work at the Hyundai Excel factory at 1990. You know, in the 1990s, where the 9990 drive away, no more to pay.
Right.
You know, what colour they order for Honda, except green or black? It's just keep them green. It's not problem. Oh, we ran out of green paint. Oh, the white colour today is problem.
Have you seen the Hyundai?
So racist.
Have you seen the Hyundai XL Cup?
No.
So they race Hyundai XLs. I don't know how to shut it up. Okay, that'll do.
Oh, you see, what we should tell people at home is that Rocket Russell's just literally a few days ago migrated from years and years of Apple abuse, gone to Android. And he's not familiar with the Android phone, and even it's laughing at you.
That's Burt Reynolds, man. Pick on my life.
Oh, well, that's what, the Cannonball Run, Burt Reynolds?
No, that's Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh,
You know where he pulls up behind the thing and looks at the camera and does the laugh as the policeman finds.
dude, I love the Cannonball Run so much.
Oh, I love the Cannibal Run. Anything with Burt Reynolds.
You know
on it.
what? I'll tell you another thing. I'll put money on it. That wouldn't get made today either. You know why?
They couldn't make any of those
No,
movies.
you know when there's a Mitsubishi and they've got the two Asians in it? People go, oh, it's offensive because they're stereotyping Asians driving Mitsubishis. You can't get away with shit these days.
I watched Blazing Saddles and
Oh, that wouldn't get done.
there's
and
no
Airplane on
way.
the airplane yesterday.
Airplane's a ripper.
Change of topic very quickly, unless we've not said everything we wanted to say about workplaces.
Oh, look,
We didn't even start, did
We
we?
didn't even start.
Didn't even start that.
Yeah,
topic.
but
No, we danced around it. But that's okay. Gives us something for next time.
Yeah, but did you want to say shenanigans? Because that was the point of the show.
Oh, I've got plenty of shenanigans.
We were discussing one earlier on the week, weren't we? So we had a when
yes,
we moved.
yes,
so
yes.
Do you remember our very flash office?
That was really cool, that flash office.
Yeah, and then we moved to
But
the-
it was a pain in the ass to come and see you guys because it was like 40 minutes up the road. I hated coming to see you guys then.
I used to drive from out here there
Yeah.
every day. It was
Yeah.
a nightmare. But then they moved to the dungeon.
The dungeon, yeah.
So
Which
they-
was just about 10 minutes down the road from where I was working.
Yeah, but it was nice and convenient. Maybe for us,
But the
not,
office was
fucking
awful.
me.
not for him.
No.
But the
As
As
office
soon as I
was,
fucking moved, we moved office. And then I tried to get some fucking travel allowance out of those motherfuckers. Oh, well, you know, when you were started employment, you were actually at this address, so this is now doing you a favour.
They used to do that where I was. They'd use this term geographically disadvantaged.
Oh,
Have you heard that?
yes.
If you were at a particular radius and you were, I think if you were outside of that radius, you might have got a bit of compensation, but the radius was so fucking big, you know what I mean? No one was ever geographically
Yeah, so the ones that are geographically whatever,
yeah,
they're living on the North Shore and fucking rich as anyway.
probably that's how it was.
yeah.
Yeah, so we moved out there. We had a little dungeon out the back. And then next to our little dungeon, where we had all our upcoming big sites and certain pretty big brands in the world, I would say.
So basically,
had all the servers set up in there.
It was an old, what would you... Storage room?
I thought it was a storage room.
It was a storage room that got converted into a server room.
Because they're exactly the same thing. You don't need any
You don't need a
extras.
floating floor.
Oh, no, it had a lovely window rattler.
It had literally. That was the air conditioner.
No, it did, man. It did. They went from... Let me give you the groundwork. These guys went from a really modern...
We're in Julius Avenue North.
Really...
Proper...
Like a really nice building.
So we went from a Ferrari to a Hyundai fucking Excel.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the difference when I went there. You know what the best thing was? Every time I go there, the first time I went there was like, oh, yeah, we're just moving in, we're getting set up. Mate, that was the fucking stock standard response I got like 2 years later. You know, we're just getting set up. Well, fuck.
It was a long setup process.
It was a ridiculous setup
process. So this
process.
server room had, as it says, a window rattler air conditioner in it, which I had flagged as...
Inappropriate?
This is a server room.
There's a lot of fucking money in there.
There's a lot of money in here, and we think the window rattler's probably had its day because it's, 40 years old now.
Shit.
And so
what about all the fireproofing stuff, all the friggin'...
No.
I have a feeling I've got a photo of this.
I don't know where the photo is. So we've they had a thermometer in there.
Yeah.
And we had an alarm go off one day.
Because it's too fucking hot.
Because it's too fucking hot. It was a scorching hot day. Walked into this server room and literally could have been a sauna. So we're panicking.
Servers are going to fucking
because
shit
a couple
themselves.
of the servers were operate like a cloud.
Yeah.
You know? So we had people using these servers, but they're in the server
Set up in
room.
RAID.
Set up in RAID. It was crazy that this even got that. So we ended up having to work out how we could get these servers cool without moving them because we didn't have another server room to put them in. That we were there was another server room, but we weren't allowed to use it because that was used for the company, not for customers.
Yeah, fuck customers.
So we literally had a fire hose, cable tied to the top of a fire hose thing, pointing at the air conditioner with water squirting into the back of the window rattler.
4 days.
4 days trying to keep this thing cool.
Shit.
It was a debacle where they went...
It was horrible.
Where you couldn't have any more extremes.
I've got the photo somewhere. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
You didn't have any more
hilarious.
extremes. You went from an ultra-modern facility to a really old facility.
This was Blacktown in summer. It was fucking hot.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
It's not necessarily the best location for a server room unless there's proper air conditioning, proper floating floors, proper everything that goes into those facilities.
It was probably a 1960s-esque server room, I say.
I'd say the whole building was in the 60s,
Well, they
wasn't
didn't,
it? Or
they
the
didn't
70s?
have servers back then, did they?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't a server room. That wasn't a server room, man. That wasn't a server room.
Oh, man.
What I
You
love
might
is...
have it on Facebook.
I
Maybe
think
that's where
I
is.
think it is on the book of the face.
So yeah, we worked there for a while. We had a lot of fun. I was
Met some great
introduced to
people.
some shenanigans early on. I think Windows have taken it out of standard operating now, but you used to be able to use, I think it was Control-Alt and a directional arrow, and you could, whole screen would then change horizontally, vertically, or upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me with it. We had a bit of a laugh, got each other back a few times. Then we had this receptionist on, we did it too, and she couldn't fucking figure it out. So she'd come back from lunch and the screen's upside down.
Well, the retro skater played a great joke on me one day. He put a picture of this person that used to work in our canteen, and he used to put it with her deliberately pulling her face, and he made it my screensaver. And I came down one day after lunch, and that was what I was looking on the computer. And I couldn't figure out how to get it off because every time I press Control-Alt-Delete, I get a picture of
The
her.
lock
As
screen.
it was my fucking lock screen. It was my window. It was my wallpaper. And I just said to him, "You know, you've breached every security code in the company that you've unlocked my computer." I go, "How did you do that?" And he had some way. He thought he knew what my password was or some bullshit. I don't know, but he did it. He also...
Well, even that, now that'd be a breach of security. You
he'd
could probably
be
get sacked for
mate,
that.
he
probably
would be
would, yeah.
fucked now if he did it. We'd also
Just a
would have
bit of
been. We'd
harmless
also
fun.
be fucked with this. Guess what we did one day. This is a cracking story. We were getting trained as fire wardens, and so we had to go out the car park there and pull out. You know how you get the fire hose or whatever it is, or the fire extinguisher to get the fires put out. We got trained on that. Well, you know what he did? He couldn't resist. He picked up the carbon dioxide one, which is the foam one, I think, and he's turned around and he's fucking sprayed my pants directly in my balls. And then he's run around. Then we've run around the car park, and I'm like, stop it! Stop it! And he's chasing me in the car park with his fucking extinguisher. Mind you, we got busted by the.
Damn.
Have you got a picture of him?
No, all that.
I don't know who that is.
That's Pickle Bear.
Oh, bullshit.
No bullshit.
Fuck, it is too. Oh, that's when you used to wear a eyebrow ring.
2 eyebrow rings and a lip piercing.
That's when fuck, it is too.
I wonder why I couldn't find anyone.
Is that old place we're talking about?
Yeah, that's North
Yeah,
Ryde.
that was the funky office.
That's Meg. Saw her on Friday night.
Crackor.
Yeah.
Crack. Fuck, how many years ago would that be?
I'll just tell you on the
That'll
bottom.
be 2012 at least.
No,
I think.
2010 it says.
20. Fuck.
That's 9 years ago.
That's
Fuck
when
me.
I would have.
Literally just started.
I would have just started. Yeah.
Wow.
I had a good first week actually. I got thrown right in the deep end. I think Bella was born.
Possibly.
Bella was born when I started, and then our boss got sent away. So I'm sitting there on the front desk. The receptionist got sacked the day I turned up.
insane.
So we're on the front desk of
Unreal.
this place.
You're thinking, what the fuck have I done?
And I'm just like, oh, yeah. I only knew how to do one thing, which was, this software's version of it on and off. It's called a power recovery. So people would ring up.
Oh, that was the classic.
Yeah.
You ring them up and go, oh, this is broken. Have you done a power recovery? No. Let's try and do that.
So I did that.
It's
and then
not working.
I'd be like, got a bit of confidence. I'm like, oh, look at me go. Like, yeah, it's still fucked. And I'll be like, oh. But no, there was some good stuff around that helped. But yeah, the first week was quite interesting.
I don't remember you back then. I would have been in the position to talk to you, but I don't remember you.
Well, I wouldn't have spoken to you for a bit. So what Russell did, it was very fucking good of him. When I started, he took me under his wing. He basically gave me the list of customers who he deemed were to deal with. So I was like, these are the people here. I'm not speaking to them. They're yours. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Shane.
Hey! What a...
There's going to be some editing on this one.
It's not too bad.
Not as
We've
bad
been
as the
pretty
last
good.
one.
I think I said the place that they work in. I think it slipped.
Yeah, you did. That's cool.
Did
I
he?
can bleep it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did by accident.
No, I
I
don't
tried
think
not
you
to.
did.
I
He did.
I
He
did.
did.
I did. But
But yeah, he did that to me, and then we had a lot of fun there. But we were right out the front, and there was a big fucking drama. Were you there? You were there, I think, still. So this new lady started, and this was a big issue around the office. So we sat out the front, and then either side of us were doors into the back area where everyone else sat. So we were the front face of the company. Anyway, there was an incident.
oh man, yeah,
She got big. She got big.
Who got big? Well, he gave me this. Can I tell you the story with this? What I'm looking at is a massive ball of rubber bands, and I mean, what? Not quite basketball size.
No, it wasn't far off.
But it wasn't far off it.
Would just fit in your cauldron, I reckon.
Yeah, so it's bigger than a cricket
No,
ball.
it would have sat on the cauldron.
Yeah.
It was big.
It's bigger than the cricket ball. Bigger than a cricket ball, but it's
Soft, like bigger than a softball.
Yeah. So what happened was when Rocket Russell left this place we're talking about, he says to me, "You are my favourite customer," and I got very emotional at this point. So he started handing
And he
me.
said that to 4 other people.
Yeah, that's why I feel so cheap. And he says to me, "Look, I'm going to move out all my stuff, and I'm not moving to someplace local. I'll give you all my shit." And he gave me that ball of rubber bands. And let me tell you about those ball of rubber bands, dude.
It hurt.
They slowly disintegrated. Right? And so the bands would like fling off. But so many people were like bamboozled by that. They go, "Oh, how long have you been working on that for?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, I told them a story. I didn't do it.
She just said, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Get a lot of mail.
But you know what I did do? When I first got a new office.
Was it you hitting the balls with that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was right.
You know what I did do one time? When I did get a new office, I actually got an office upstairs briefly. I put everyone had this in the office, they had a picture of their family, and I'm like, well, fuck, I feel like a loser. So I went to Big W and bought a picture frame. And
I remember you doing it.
And stuck a fake family on my desk. and everyone would visit and go, "Oh, are they your kids?" I convinced this one person, no bullshit, for a year that they were my kids. I even had names made up for them.
I was going to say, I thought it would be even funny if you took a photograph of the elastic band ball. And
This is before
My baby.
it's my baby.
This is before the elastic band ball, because I only got that when Rocket Russell
I
left.
went to Tassie, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he was leaving for Tassie, and he gave me a bunch of stuff. And that, I'll tell you, that was a talking point, because people went, "Well, how long have you been building that?" And I go, "Well, I didn't build it. I told them how I got it." And they're like, "Well, how long was he doing it for?" I go,
3 years, I reckon.
Took him a couple of years, I think. It was
Because again, we're on the front desk. We'd be getting 5 or 6 a day, I think.
Yeah. The good old ball. I can't find this other photo, but
So you're back to the
the firefighting foam.
No.
Sorry,
You've rudely interrupted
there was
Nathan.
no, not at all, not rudely.
I caused the technical issue.
It's
yes.
all good.
I
So
did it.
there was a big hoo-ha in the office, and it gets a bit exciting, bit of excitement to your day. So at some point, ladies started walking past and said, "Oh, who's gone in the toilets recently? We got a bit of a skidder.
Oh, I've got a story
We've
about
got a
this.
skidder."
Yep.
And we all sort of go, "Oh, I don't know." Anyway, it was apparently quite bad. It was in the ladies, so I never had a look. But there was a fucking witch hunt out for whoever the fuck this
Yeah.
was. Now, this person in particular, they put signs up, "Please clean up after yourself." It became, a bit of a water cooler type thing in the kitchen, talking about this mystery skidder. Anyway, we found out who it was. We nominated who it was, and flat out denied it. She was a fucking weird bitch, that one.
she was.
Yeah. She's a
Wait,
bit
did
weird.
she do it? Did she do?
Oh,
the
yeah,
skit?
well, what happened was
It got-
we
the chicks got
minimised it
full
down to
nuts.
a few potentials. So when this particular person went to the toilet, we rang, and then, sure enough, we found the culprit.
Because you know what? At this place that
The great poo hunt of 14.
well, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this.
It got like that. It was.
Mate,
it was a big deal.
I was on
Emails, the whole ladies
yep,
of the whole office.
Yep.
Ladies,
Well, this happened.
please, there's brushes,
This happened
blah, blah,
at
blah.
both two major workplaces that I was working in. The first one was the place I told you about with the porn all over the walls in the late 90s. That place, one day I walked into the men's toilets, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you this, it was all over the toilet. It was all over the... This bloke had smeared it.
Smearer.
He smeared it. He smeared it like a fucking monkey all over the walls. All up. It was all over the floor. He smeared his own shit.
Funny as that is,
He clearly
I would
enjoyed his
never ever
job.
fucking do that.
Mate,
If I even get a
Dude,
dribble, if a bit of water
okay,
when I flush
do you know
gets on
how-
the seat,
do you
I'll
know-
wipe the fucking seat down when I finish.
those that know me, and you guys know me, I don't get offended by much, but I was offended by this because I couldn't believe a human being was capable of it.
I'd laugh
right?
and then I'd go, "Well, I can't." use
No, I
this
didn't
toilet."
laugh. You know what I did? I did what I thought was the only thing you could do. I went up and told the manager. I said, "Mate, do you want to have a look at this?" And he goes, "No, you're making it up." We went down there, and he said, "This is disgraceful." I go, "Mate, this is a fucking someone's like it turned into an animal, right? And smeared shit."
It shouldn't be
literally
that
all-
hard to figure out who did it. They'll have fucking
Mate,
shit all over
there
them.
was, like what you were saying, like what you were just saying now, Nervous Nath, no bullshit, we had an inquest to try and find out who did it, and for weeks people were coming up with like theories, like, he was seen at the cafeteria having a curry, right? There was inquests, man.
That's
And
a
so-
hell of a
Well, this
curry.
comes back to corn. If there was any corn in it, you just got to fucking. There you go.
I didn't look, dude, I was that sick. But you know who I felt sorry for was the cleaning lady.
Fucking earth.
The cleaning lady was every
She
afternoon.
could be on the tipping point of life. Comes
Yep.
in and sees that and goes, "You
Mate,
know what? This just ain't fucking for me anymore.
She
I'm
had
out."
she had a terrible job to begin with, but then if you saw that, like I couldn't believe. Like I said to the manager, he says to me, "Well, is it diarrhea?" And he's just missed the toilet bowl. I go, "No, you need to come and have a look." And we went downstairs, and I'm not kidding you, it was all up the wall, but it had been smeared with a human hand. That's how bad it was. I'd never seen anything like it, and there was a full-on inquest. Got to the point.
I don't.
It got to the point, no
Understand.
joke, where the manager stood on the factory floor and he said, "Whoever's done this, come forward and we'll talk about it. It's better if you do that than we find out who did it." And it was a fucking inquest, mate. I couldn't tell you if they ever found out who it was. I don't think anyone ever came clean, and I don't think anyone came forward. No pun intended.
Zing.
Bajing. Bajam. No, mate. That was the workplace back in those days. You know, it was a very different. It's very different.
Yeah, that was the workplace back in those days. As if smearing shit up the wall was a common thing.
No, you know how many people can I tell you, look, as a guy that managed people, do you know how many times I had people knock on my door and say, you should come into the toilets. I'm like, I've got better fucking things to do. I've got a conference call with Singapore in half an hour. And I'd literally get dragged by someone to the toilet, and I'd see someone's either pissed all over the toilet seat or shit all over it.
That's...
Right? And I'd say, well, how am I going to find out who it is? It could be anybody. It could be someone that works for this company, or it could have been a contractor or a driver or someone that's come in, and they've done it. I've got no way of knowing it. And guess what? You know what? And I got to the point where I got so frustrated with it, I go, what? Do I have a DNA fucking test kit that I can test this bullshit?
You get them online now.
You know what I mean? I got no idea.
23andMe or whatever.
But it was that fucking bad.
I don't understand it.
But I used to say, look, I'd hate to believe. I remember one day having a meeting with all my staff saying, I would hate to think that was someone that worked here, because that I can't forgive, right? If it was someone that came in off the street and did it.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that used to... You remember where I worked. There was drivers, there was fucking couriers, there was fucking everybody. And I'd be like, well, I don't know who it is, but if it's one of them...
I bet it was Wong.
I'll fucking do...
Fucking Mr. Wong.
That was gold. Mate, I remember one time walking past him, Wong, and I'd go, how are you, Wong? And he'd go... And he'd hold his arm up like this. And I go, what is it? What's that mean? And his mate, Felipe... would say, oh, he reckons he's taken something that makes him virile, makes him hard. I'm like, oh, I fucking don't want to know. Because whenever I saw him, if I had a cock of a day, Wong would be up there fixing something, and Wong would put a smile on my face. He goes, whoa, because he couldn't speak a word of English. Not fucking one word of it.
Unless you spoke about money.
Unless you spoke about money.
And then his English was mwah.
Yes. But every other time you see him, you go... Like this, he'd hold his fist up like he was strong or something, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking out of control.
Fuck, he cooks some weird lunches.
Yeah, well, people...
Food in the workplace, I think he's fucked.
Oh, fucking...
A guy, he replaced... Tommy, did Tommy replace you? Don't bleep that, because he was a fucking... Oh, sorry. This fuckwit drove a Nissan Cube. I flat out refused to get in his fucking car.
They're weird, those cars.
They are fucking weird.
They're imports,
refused.
aren't they? Are they imports?
No, you can buy them.
Japanese.
I can buy them, though, locally.
Nissan have done a lot of great things, but they sent the automotive industry back about 3,000 years. With
They
what
look
did in that
stupid,
fucking
those
car.
cars.
Between that
They're
and
fucked.
the Duke.
The Duke's
the
weird.
Ruckus. The Ruckus.
No.
The Toyota
Duke.
Ruckus. Have you seen the Ruckus?
Yeah, which is the version of the...
Yeah.
No, but there's a Nissan
Is
Duke.
it-
the Duke's
the
fucked
most
as well.
horrible thing I've ever
Isn't
seen.
the Toyota one the CR...
The Ruckus.
It looks like a Batmobile, but not a Batmobile. It
That's
looks
fucked.
like... It's
We used to go.
Looks like a Duke, but not a Duke. That's the
Oh,
Toyota.
yeah, that's stupid.
The Ruckus.
The Ruckus is the same as the Nissan Cube, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, the Toyota I'm thinking of is like a CR...
Yeah, I
X
think I know
or
the one.
X-
And
R
it's all...
something. It's all... Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, his replacement, Tommy. He was from Hong Kong. He was just fucking... He was fucking this, right? I don't know if you ever spoke to him.
No.
But you'd explain it to him, and he'd go, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. I did speak to him.
Are you sure you understand? Yes, okay.
He didn't
okay,
know what you were
okay.
talking about.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And again, not a witch hunt. We knew it was doing it. He'd bring his lunch in, leftovers. And we had a microwave in our office along with a coffee machine. I don't know what the fuck he had for dinner, but he would put it in the microwave, and like all three of us would have to walk out. It fucking stunk. It was like leftover fish heads that he was cooking. And then our old boss had to say to him, mate, come on, there's a lunchroom, heat your food up in there. Continue to fucking do it. Anyway, I went off for a week, and then his probation was up. He left. So he came back in, and he left his bag with his laptop in it. A pair of women's panties in the fucking bag.
Oh, remember this story?
A pair of women's panties.
Well done, Tiger.
I remember getting a phone call.
No, it got weird, man.
I remember getting a
women's
phone call
panties.
in Tasmania about this.
He was telling me, I go, that was his
You know
offsider.
the worst thing? I wasn't in that day, and the day I came back to investigate said panties they'd been disposed of. I was shattered.
So here's the background story. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Rocket Russell had left the place that you used to work in.
Yep.
And you went through a series of man children. I used to call them men children. Because you know what? I used to say you two guys were like the odd couple. You needed each other, but there were times when you had to get away from each other, right? And when I used to tease Nervous Nath because I'd ring him up and go, "You sound lonely by yourself," without Rocket Russell. He goes, "I fucking don't need his bullshit now. He fucking left me with this fucking cockhead prick, right?" And there'd be all sorts of stuff. But he finally settled for a little while with this bloke, Tommy, who was a bit weird. And I said, how's he going? Because I didn't really know the background. I didn't know anything that was going on. He goes, today we found panties and he's...
This is after he left. This is in the bag.
That's right.
So Make of that what we want. Could have been cross-dressing, I don't know. But he was fucking useless. Absolutely fucking useless. Just dense.
Let it
Absolutely fucking dense.
Let it out.
If you fucking don't know, fucking ask me. Okay.
That's right. He used to go, okay. You know what? I'd ring up.
Okay. Literally, I'm not trying to be right. That is exactly how it
Yeah, he
sounded.
would, man. Like, you'd ring him up. Rocket Russell, no bullshit. You'd
I know,
ring
I
him-
spoke to one
you
on
ring
the
him
phone
up
once
and,
trying to ring Nathan.
and you ring up and you get like, please don't let me get fucking Tommy. I want nervous Nath. And you ring him up and you go, mate, this has happened. I think we need to do this. Because after a while,
You know what's
I
going on.
kind of knew roughly. I
6
didn't
months
know,
in that job, you should be more than capable.
But
for any
I kinda
phone call
knew me
to easily troubleshoot.
as a customer, I kind of knew what was wrong, right? I didn't know always what was wrong, but I had a stab in the dark. And I'd say, I'd say to him, listen, man, I think you need to do a power reset or some bullshit. And he'd be, okay. Fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour to go by. Have you done it? Okay. Oh, fuck. And I'd ring him up, nervous Nathan, go, mate, he's doing my head in. Is it me or am I being a prick? And he goes, oh, no. Then I'd ring him up a couple of days or a week or two later and I go, where's your mate? Oh, he's gone. Okay. Then I get a random phone call or an email or something. I get a phone call from nervous Nathan. Oh, we found panties today. We found panties in his locker, or we found panties
in his laptop
in his
carry bag.
laptop carry bag or something. I go, what do you mean panties? He goes, women's panties. I'm going, oh
But the
fuck.
thing was, apparently, so he got the arse. I was not in this day for whatever reason. I think it was his probation. So he came back in and apparently was looking through the drawers. He goes, oh, I forgot something. Looking around.
He's looking for his panties.
Yeah, looking around.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it left. And they're like, what the fuck was he looking for? So they've opened the laptop bag out, and then the flap at the front. Apparently, there was a nice pair of ladies' panties. So
It's a bit weird, man.
Awkward.
I don't know.
Oh, man. We used to
Then
do
after
some
that,
fun
who did
stuff.
we have after that? So we had that fucking idiot Chris from down the coast.
Yeah, he went through a period of bad relationships. He was like broken. He was like, oh.
No, he's just, you got to be confident. But he's too young, trying to explain shit. He's like, man, I've done this and I've done this. I know all about it.
Oh, was
I'm
that the
just like,
computer whiz who didn't
Yeah.
know what VPN was?
Oh, you're
Oh,
just
fuck me.
fucking dead shit.
That was in the end of the interview. I asked him the question of, what's a VPN? What does VPN stand for? Oh, I know how to set one up.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to set one up. What does it stand for? Oh, I don't know. I said, mate, haven't you just completed a...
Like engineering degree.
I only
well-
got mine in there because of my customer service experience. You know what they asked me in the interview? Do you know what Linux is? You know what I told them?
Penguin shirt.
Yeah, it's a penguin. Still got
This
the
must
job.
be a good thing because that's the exact same
Still
thing
got
I
the
said. Mate,
is that how you got the job there?
Well, that was one of the questions.
my interview with a certain somebody. So my resume had been sent to them by another company. I didn't even know about this. So my resume got sent to them through a recruitment company I'd never touched base with or contacted, and then got called for an interview. I was like, oh, okay. And at the time, Isabella was coming into the world, so I was like, well, I better get a real job, because at the time I was working on the road, which I should still have done because I didn't like corporate. I walked into the interview. 5 seconds in, I'm showing my resume. I'm like, oh wow, I don't know where they got that from or how old that is. And the interviewer ripped it up and went, okay, let's just have a chat then. Don't see that shit anymore.
No, you don't even get it.
I loved how he got a job because he knew Linux had a penguin as a logo.
Well, no, it
That's
That
wasn't
was
what-
one of
that.
the questions. I said that.
There was many questions: Xbox or PlayStation,
Really?
Ford or Holden.
Really?
I failed all of them.
Are you
PlayStation,
fucking
Holden.
serious?
I did the interview.
He got to sit in on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you, I interviewed a lot of people, right? And I always had in the back of my mind, I don't give a fuck about their gender. I don't care, right? What I care about
As long
is,
as I have one.
as long as I have one, because I would have fucking
Sign
lost
one.
it if someone had to come and said, oh, I'm gender neutral. I would have gone, fuck off. You're a pain. No, but you're a pain in the ass.
Oh, did
You're
you
a
not-
pain in the ass already, right? But I used to say in the back of my mind, what experience have they got? Because I don't have the time or the ability to train someone up from scratch. And number two, will they fit in with the culture of the organisation? Because where we used to work had a very strong culture, right? And I used to see if they could think on their feet. So I used to ask them random questions in the interview. I used to say, look, tell me about your knowledge on the bees dying in the world. And they go, what? And I used to say, well, you do know that the bees are dying. They've got some kind of disease and they can't find their way home to the colony, their beehive. And so they're dying. This is no bullshit. And they'd be like, really? I go, yeah, man, we're in trouble. If we don't figure this problem out, we're going to have a world food shortage. And they'd be like, oh, no, I didn't know about this. I said, well, you need to fucking get on it. And one bloke, I hired him on the spot. You know why? he had the awesomest response. I said to him, listen, man, do you know about the bees dying? And he goes, no, but the fact that you've told me this, I'll get right on it. And the next time I see you, I'll have a full detailed answer on it. I went, fucking bang, bingo, bongo, bang, he's in. Because he was thinking on his feet, you know what I mean? A lot of these people, they go, what the fuck? I know I'm a friggin' psycho, but like, they look at me like, well, you are a psycho, but I'm going to give you some kind of an answer. But if they got like a glazed look on their face or like, huh. I had one chick, she just looked at me like it was a date and she went, is that supposed to be funny? And I went, you're fucking done in my eyes, darling. You're not getting hired. You're not getting nothing.
The ones I always had problems with was interviewing people. I had interviewed one guy to replace when we were replacing him.
Because you came back.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
right, because so he Nathan left.
I gave him 6 months' notice too. That's got to be a record.
That's generous.
Yeah,
Jeez.
he was cool.
He was super cool about it. And then I popped back up because we moved back from Tassie and Michael, the person was like, oh, come back.
He's a good guy.
But one of the guys we interviewed, he'd just come out of uni with an engineering degree. He'd spent the last year of his university, working with NASA on rocket robotics in space. And it's like...
And he wants a job doing
and
this.
we were sitting there going, mate...
You could shoot a bit higher.
Yeah.
Are you seriously...
You're either A, making it up and we want to check, you do a background check, or B, are you shooting way too low and you're going to last 2 weeks in this job? That's what I would think.
Oh, well, that was
interview.
that's as soon as we walked out the door, I was like, yeah, just throw his away. And the boss was like, but he's a great candidate. I says, he's done work for NASA. He's not a long-term prospect.
He's going to look at
that
our
was
server room and
hard.
shit himself.
Yeah.
A lot of the, even when he left, a lot of them were massively overqualified. And I went in there with basic computer knowledge and good, people skills. And a lot of IT people, as we all know, they don't have that people skill side.
No.
And I think the guy before me, that was his issue, wasn't it? Very, very intelligent, but just couldn't
I can't remember that company you used to work for before you. I don't remember it at all. I don't remember who it was.
They had the
I remember the higher ups.
No, his name was Peter, but I never met him.
Yeah,
he was a dickhead. And then you had the
This could be well edited, this one.
no, you won't know who the fuck he is. I don't know who the fuck he is.
Well, if
now.
you're listening, Peter, you are a cockhead, but rate, comment, and subscribe, you little fuck, and you might get a T-shirt.
we want a thumbs up.
Before me.
But if not,
And then we had
you're a cock.
I was a surrender monkey before then, wasn't it?
Surrender Monkey.
French.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's a fucking good one. That's so good.
Cheese eating surrender monkey.
Don't you refer to all French people as surrender monkeys?
I've never heard of it before.
Probably being very racist, and you're probably going to have to do some editing. But
No, fuck off.
No,
cheese eating surrender
dude,
monkeys.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, seriously?
No, I swear to God.
Oh, that's the best. All French people are cheese
I
eating
think
surrender monkeys.
What did dickhead after me? He was fucking painful to deal with. Because I used to go and visit every now and again after I left. The guy was just fucking painful.
Oh, he's still there. Yeah.
You guys went through so many people so quickly, I couldn't keep up.
I
couldn't
think
keep
they
up.
set the record recently at 1 week. A guy decided, after working for them for 1 week, decided, I'm going to go buy a coffee truck. Fuck this shit. That is no word of a lie.
It's Tony,
Tony's
man.
back.
God bless him.
No
Mate,
word
he
of a
made
lie.
good coffees. He made good coffees, Tony.
Go, Tony. It's your birthday.
Yeah. And then, good times we had there.
Yeah, you had
What
some
else did he
shenanigans
do?
there.
Fucking everything on my desk being taped down,
Oh, I had that.
including the tape.
I had the. Back in before you guys knew me at the place I was working for, someone shrink wrapped my cubicle completely. I went out to lunch, came back, and my cubicle was 100% shrink wrapped.
I've had my
Like,
entire...
I mean,
yeah.
I couldn't even get into it. I got a Stanley knife and I was stabbing it and I still couldn't get in it.
So I had my entire desk gift wrapped for my birthday. Like, everything that was on it was individually
that's a dream.
individually gift wrapped. So my counterplay to that was I didn't undo it. I left it like that for about a
Mate.
year.
I had
I monitor everything. I just worked off a laptop. That was it.
I had birthdays. This is when I first started at the last place I worked for. when it was my birthday, they used to go out and buy like a picture magazine or something and leave it on my desk. That wouldn't happen today, man.
No.
I'm telling you now, it wouldn't. But they'd leave it on my desk and I'll be like, cool. And they'd go, if the pages get stuck together, we'll get you some more if you want. It was beautiful, you know. And the curry incident that you're talking about, we used to have a guy.
Well, that's the thing. It was every visit to the toilet.
No, I had it every day, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Mate,
every day.
This guy, let me tell you about this guy. This guy, he would literally have curry for morning tea,
Breakfast curry,
lunch, and afternoon tea. And I used to say to him, how often do you have curry? He goes, I have to have it every day. And I said, what happens if you don't? He goes, I feel sick. I go, fuck, mate. And he used to bomb the lunchroom, right? And when we moved to the new place, you know the new place, when we moved there, this retro skater who did many practical jokes on me, like, you know, doused me with fucking fire retardant. That's when we were doing, fire warden's duties. He'd come out into the kitchen and go, oh, fuck, what did you fucking put in the microwave? Oh, Jesus Christ, smells fucking bad, you know? But he'd also chase me around the main office there with Glen 20. I told that story.
I was in a packed lift the other day, going up 30 floors.
Did you cut a mean one or what?
Hey?
Did you cut a mean one or what?
No. I've done that. That's different. Gentleman gets into a courier driver for a well-known courier company within our area, has got into it, and the lift was packed. There was space for one person. He has got in the smell, you could literally cut it. You could chew the smell of BO.
Oh.
And somebody at the end of the elevator, the other side of the elevator,
Started gagging.
Has started going, fuck, you know deodorant's not optional. He goes, fuck, mate, when was the last time you had a fucking shower? Come on, that's more than just days worth, mate.
Jesus Christ. I was just thinking about a last story with Retro Skater. Mate, this guy, you guys know him, at the office there, he used to have major meetings with a ginormous courier company, right? A freight company, actually. Courier company's a bit of a disservice to him. Freight company. And he got invited one night to the state of origin. He rocked up. He's gone, fuck, there's no parking, because he was a tight ass. He didn't want to park in the car stations. You know what he did? He rocked up to their corporate event, right, with a skateboard. He fucking had his skateboard in the back of the car and skateboarded all the way to Homebush. Got out for this corporate event / meeting it was, with a skateboard under his arm, and he was also being accompanied by our general manager for the division, who was wondering why he was late, and he rocks up with the business S that they had skateboard under his arm, and this guy that was our GM says, why have you got a skateboard? He goes, fucking too far to park, mate. He goes, I just got the fucking skateboard out, mate. Got the skatey out, and I got there fucking no time. That's what he fucking used to rock up to meetings, major meetings with a skateboard. No That's bullshit.
The best.
Oh, he was the shit he used to pull and get away with was unbelievable, right? He used to do crazy stuff that I'm not really confident in saying, even on this podcast many years later,
but
you know.
We've all worked. I've worked with a guy who'd spit on the screen.
Well, you saw that, did you?
Hey?
Did you see that?
What happened? I thought that was on my chair you were spitting. But,
oh, yeah.
So, again, when I first started with said soft drink, Sugar Water Company, I was taking over from a guy in the dispatch office. So back when I started there, you could smoke in the dispatch office.
Fuck, when was this in the 90s?
This was in 2000.
And they were still smoking?
You were still smoking.
Did they have a smoke room?
No, this was in...
Because the place I was telling you about with Tony the coffee maker, they used to have a smoke room, and the fucking room was yellow.
Yeah.
Because they had a smoke room. And it didn't matter how much they sealed the doors up, the smoke still came out.
Leaks out.
Yeah. Well, this was an ex-factory turned into a warehouse, and you could smoke anywhere. People would be wandering through.
That's insane. Yeah. Even in the early 2000s. In the
office, he was sitting there, he'd smoke. But they went from one ERP to another ERP, a rather big ERP.
I know. That's how we talked. That's how we met. Yeah,
this is how we met. And every time he'd change screens. He hated this ERP so much he'd spit on the screen.
What, full on spit?
If it's talking.
If it's the ERP that I think it is, then I think it's a fairly common reaction.
It also runs down trees.
So this guy was also...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm talking about?
This guy also was a fanatical golf fan. Fanatical. Was, his day consisted of coming to work so he could go and play golf in the afternoon.
Hey, good on him.
Stopped playing golf because said company that rather large logo upon his favourite golfers hat.
Oh, yeah, because that's the same stuff that runs down true sometimes. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Certain golfers are sponsored by that stuff.
Yep. Refused to play, sold golf clubs. Hated the software that much that, got rid of his hobbies.
That is fucking passion.
Well, that was like Theo, the Greek guy that I used to be a courier at the same company I'm telling you about. He hated Goodyear tyres so much because he reckons that was slowing the Ferraris down back in 1998. And he used to be a courier, so his van had Goodyears on it. He goes, I'm fucking taking the Goodyears off this thing. I'm fucking done with it. I'm going to put Bridgestones on it. That's no bullshit. That's when he stopped me in fucking Haymarket. He stopped me in Haymarket. He's like, bro, fuck these Goodyears off. It was unbelievable.
One of my other tasks at this place in the mornings, I had to go and turn on the dispatch manager's computer, print out all of his emails, to which
That's beautiful.
He would hand write notes on the bottom, and then he'd spend the next hour at the fax machine faxing it back to you.
Beautiful.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've had people reply to me. I've asked them to fill out a spreadsheet with certain columns, CSV file, so I could import data, whatever, who would actually print that out, write in the columns, and then photograph on their phone or whatever, and then send it back to
Not even I'm that stupid to be that creative. Like, that's actually pretty creative, isn't it? Like,
My beloved, she works somewhere at the moment in a certain insurance industry.
shout out to her.
Shout out, Danielle. Love you, baby.
Rate,
Keep
comment,
listening.
and
She'll
subscribe.
never listen to this shit.
Yeah, she's got better things to do.
Pretty much.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Although your better half might be happy with me today because I did a ram for her.
We shouted out,
yeah.
Jess,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, shout out.
They had a guy in the office just refused to accept technology. Everyone had access to his emails because he couldn't use it. And in his emails, in his inbox, he left his employment package. Like his pay, like when he got the job.
Yeah.
He got sacked last week. I feel a bit sorry for
Oh,
him.
really?
But she, let's say, had 300 open things. He had sitting at 6. And the 6 that he had, he just fucked up. 30 years in the industry, and you'd think someone in that position, they're 50, whatever, might provide a bit of mentorship. She's only been doing this for a year. The guy's coming up to every fucking second day asking her questions. What the fuck are you doing, mate?
Let me tell you a story about technology and the retro skater in the workplace. They didn't go hand in hand. You know how I get the term take me back to the 80s? I got it from him. Because every time something would go wrong or something would go slow with the computers that we had, he'd go, oh, fucking take me back to the 80s. Top of his voice through the office, fuck this! Fucking didn't have fucking this shit in the 80s. Well, I got to a point, he was fucking very creative. Every time at the place of work that I used to be at, you turn your computer on, and 9 times out of 10, there'd be an update. And he'd go, I'm fucking over this. Every time there's an update, I'm putting a Band-Aid on my computer. So you know what he used to do when it was a patch? He'd go get a fucking Band-Aid.
Physical Band-Aid.
And he'd put a physical Band-Aid on his laptop, and his laptop was covered in fucking Band-Aids. And when he handed it back to the IT guys, he'd go, that's how many fucking patches we had in this fucking debacle of a fucking company. He goes, take me back to the fucking 80s. There wasn't any patches back then. And but he used to do it, and his laptop was covered in patches, Band-Aids. I'll never forget, we went to the head office there one day, and they all said, how come your fucking laptop, your brand new laptop's covered in Band-Aids? Which was a dirty word in the company I worked for, but I'm just going to call it Band-Aids.
Oh, yeah.
They had their own competing product. So he'd go, that's for all the patches that we've had on this cock of a machine. I'm keeping fucking tabs on it. Right? Because every day there'd be a security update, there'd be then a Windows update, there'd be some other fucking bullshit. And literally, it wasn't like a 5-minute update. Oh no, go grab a coffee, go talk to your work colleague, and then maybe take a piss, and then if you're lucky, when you come back, it's ready. And they want you to be more productive. It fucking did all of our heads in. But he was so creative, I'll grab a Band-Aid. And the thing was covered in Band-Aids. It was beautiful.
We had a patch come through one day when I was working at the Sugary Soft Drink Company. And crashed, said stuff runs down trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
That's not uncommon.
Oh, yeah, that was the other
That's very
fuck up.
common. After 3 hours, we're like, let's go shopping. There's nothing we can do here,
Yeah.
so we've gone to
Do you know how many
Blacktown.
arguments I had with upper echelons about, like, it's now 12 o'clock at night, the system isn't coming back up, and they'd be like, oh, go grab your bean bags and we'll stay here. What am I going to fucking do? I don't know how to fix this bullshit. The bullshit's located in the US or somewhere like this. I'm not fucking the guy that's going to be able to fix this. I'm going home. No, you need to stay. Well, for what? All the troops that actually do the work are gone. They've been gone home for like hours, and you fucks want me to stay here for what? What am I going to do?
That was a stressful time in our job, but when we had sites down, I remember one night over at Kingsgrove.
Yeah.
Lenny, you know the place? Yep. Got to about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I've got 30, 40 people there looking at me, and I'm just like,
what can you do?
No, I fix.
Yeah, and you know what's happened?
The beaver eventually saved the day.
Beavering.
On that one.
But this is what's happened with the workplace. They're so reliant on systems, and those systems are not local anymore, right? They've gone back to the 80s. I can remember visiting Dad in the workplace in the 80s as a kid, and I'd say, what's that on your... Like, I thought it was a computer. I go, what's that on your desk? And he goes, oh, it's a dummy terminal, right? And I go, what do you mean by that? He goes, oh, it's connected to a computer somewhere down the hall or somewhere overseas, and this is what I do to put all my data in, right? But it's gone back that way now. Most of those, that's the way it's going to go. Most of those systems are located over in the distant shores of another country. And when it goes down, you, as the cog in the wheel that makes the engine turn, can't do shit with it. And I couldn't get that through to the knuckleheads in the upper echelons when that did happen. I go, well, what do you want me to fucking do? There's no one in this country that can fix this, right? It's all the very thing you wanted, which was a global system. It's bitten you in the ass, you fuck. And I'm done now. I'll wash my hands of it. As the weapon would say, done my job. Shout out to the weapon.
Go the weapon.
You won't be listening.
No, you won't be listening to this bullshit. He's doing fucking kettlebell Turkish get-ups.
Oh, that's very sad, isn't it?
He's got a picture?
Oh,
It's a nice picture of...
There is no cloud. It's just somebody else's computer.
Yeah, well, it's bullshit, man. I'm telling you. But that's what they don't
But I can't believe people don't actually realise that.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
It's
but
like-
you know what?
It's a lot of computers, admittedly.
Admittedly, it's a lot of computers.
But you know what it is?
It's still somebody else's... It's not a cloud.
But-
it's a greatest... That'd be the second greatest marketing term ever.
Cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to Bible.
Oh,
Speaking of cloud-
we got fucking time
Speaking
for
of
that.
cloud,
That's a wormhole. That's a fucking rabbit hole.
speaking of cloud of the 15 minutes left that I've got till I need a real piss.
Wow, we're going to go that long, are we?
How long have we been going with this bullshit?
An hour and 50.
All right, well, let's wrap this up very quickly. We've got E3 this weekend.
Yep.
Depending on when we upload this, everything we say now could be bullshit, could be a revelation, it could be absolute crap. But what I have seen already is the Stadia fail. Don't give a fuck.
Massive fail.
Fail.
No
Have you seen the
chance.
prices for the Stadia? They want to charge you not only for streaming, they want to charge you for purchasing games too.
And
so
you
it's
also-
not like Game Pass.
And also, if you're only a regular casual gamer, you need a terabyte of data per
yeah,
month.
you need they're gonna. If you've got a data cap, you're fucked. So remember,
Huge data
Mate,
consumption. Yeah.
So the data it uses. So say you've got the bandwidth of what I've got,
Like
100
unlimited,
megabit.
but, you know.
I've got 100 megabit at home,
Yep.
right?
You'll be able to play.
I could play 4K 60 according to their chart. But what the boffins have done in the background, they've analysed this and said, you know how much data that's going to transfer to your account? They're talking terabytes, dude, for like only a few hours of gameplay. So if you've got a cap, you're fucked.
Have fun playing
Right.
that on your mobile phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So forget about it. What really stung me...
Stupid.
Yeah, but what really stung me is a really dumb idea, what I couldn't believe. I'd always gone into the idea of what Google were doing with a Stadia is obviously game streaming, which in itself has got major problems. But the one thing I thought they'd rely on is it's a service like Game Pass. Pay your $10 a month or whatever it is,
No, it's not
and
what
you've
it
got
is at all.
access to all the games that we've got with our partners. No, you got to buy the fucking
You're going to buy
games.
the actual games full price.
So if you want to buy the latest Call of Duty when it comes out, you're going to pay full retail price for that on top of your service subscription. It's bullshit, man. I saw that and went, it's fucking fail. That's going to be a classic Google fail. You're going to look back at that and go, that's one of the many Google failed products. I'll put money on
The
it.
amount of failed products that company.
Yeah, people think they're golden. They're not. They're fucked up many a time.
But that's, I mean, I get that. I mean, fail. If you're going to fail, that's fine. That's
They're
part of modern
trying,
business, right?
Look, I understand that,
Well,
but the
it's-
amount of projects they have going around the world that don't get anywhere, like, I mean, what we can name Google Glass. What was the phone? What was that modular phone they were working with?
Oh, that fucking thing where you could actually... that never went anywhere.
That looked fucking amazing, and then they just sort of went, oh, yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
work. Yep, they couldn't bring it to market.
Well, fucking Google Plus, the whole fucking Facebook thing.
Well, yeah, when they ruined, what was it, the Google account, Google Plus, people on YouTube hated that because they also took the comments away. Remember you could actually do video responses to people on YouTube?
Okay.
Google killed that when they bought out YouTube. And so that was the Google Plus subscription. If you were subscribing with Google Plus, fuck, look at our devices going off.
Everybody's phone.
That's why you turn that fucking shit off.
Yeah, I know. I actually don't like it for that because it pisses me off. Like I'll be sitting watching TV and randomly it'll be like, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." Oh, you bitch! You should be fucking helping me. But to me, it's a fail. Not just because of the platform that it requires streaming and a really fast internet connection to make it sing. Their pricing's ridiculous. When I found out about that yesterday or the day before, when it was announced, because they had their first
They were the first ones
They were
at
the first
E3.
cab off the
Yeah.
rank at E3. I've gone, you are insane. You've lost your mind, Google. Like,
What's the fucking pro? I can't
there
think
is
of
no
a pro.
pro.
now.
There's all negatives.
Wouldn't you just
No,
go
yeah,
buy
there
a
is-
CD?
No, there is a Pro. It uses all different types of controllers.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well.
Okay, I'll give you that. But let's
That's the only thing I
assume.
can think of so far.
Yeah, but
Pro 1.
I would have actually
Con.
said, okay, maybe for some people, if you pay a subscription of $10 a month like you do with Game Pass, and it says, here are all of our games, and you can play any of those.
See, but-
then I would have been like, okay, I kind of sort of
I wish
understand.
Game Pass was like that.
Yeah, but Game Pass is pretty poor too. In a lot of,
and
like,
if
as
you're
much as I
listening,
like
Bill,
it,
Bill and Mel,
Bill's got nothing to do with it anymore.
I don't care.
Satya.
He's fucking the big boss.
you know what? Can I tell you about
Well,
Mike?
Phil Spencer.
I'm going to drop Game Pass. That's $10.95 a month. I don't see any point of it.
No,
you don't put new games up regularly.
No.
the games
Not
that
good
there
ones
are
anyway.
Crap.
Yes.
The only thing the only reason I'm actually paying for it at the moment, and in reality, I should have just bought the fucking game, is F1 2018.
Yes. So I'm going to say something about Game Pass. I was a big fan of it, and I still don't dislike it.
I don't
like
dislike
the concept
it, but I
of
just don't
but
think there's enough
lately-
games on there,
but
and they're not updating it.
Yes.
I wonder what's going to happen though tomorrow. I reckon
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to launch a
It's
shit.
been, Game Pass. Look, I subscribe. I pay my $10. For the last month, Game Pass has been so
Shit.
fucking quiet.
I just got a feeling they're waiting for tomorrow.
You know what? I'm going to throw this at you. Before I throw out my little theory, I agree with you on Game Pass how it's been abysmal lately with the games
There's
that's
a
released.
Wookiee in the room.
And Games with Gold has been fucking dire.
Yes.
Right, in terms of the games they give you. So here's my little theory. Tomorrow they're going to announce something like Xbox Live Platinum, and I bet you that covers your subscription for online multiplayer as well as Game Pass, right? So they bundle it under the one umbrella. That's what I think they'll do, and then they'll say if you get that subscription, you get that covers your subscription for a year for Game Pass.
Yep.
And we'll also give you 2 free games a month on top of the Game Pass rotation of games. I bet you they do that because that's been whispered
PSN.
for quite a long time. Whereas PSN,
You get 2 games
PlayStation,
in a month. That's been
yeah,
pretty
but
good.
that's been awesome at the moment with
Borderlands.
and Sonic
I got
Mania.
Modern Warfare 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And then
So Sony side of things with PlayStation Plus, PSN Plus, you basically get your 2 free games, but they don't have a subscription like Game Pass. But Microsoft, I think, might offer something. I'm pulling it out of my ass. Games with Xbox Platinum, and that Platinum gives you Game Pass, gives you multiplayer, which we shouldn't have to pay for anyway. That's fucking bullshit, but it is what it is. And then they might say on top of the Xbox Game Pass rotation of games, you get 2 free games as well. I bet you they fucking do it.
I hope so.
And then it forces Sony to do something because Sony doesn't have a game service like Game Pass, and they sure as shit don't offer anything over and above that particular pricing structure. If you think about it, if Microsoft was to pull the trigger on that, they'd go, fuck, now we're not competitive at all because we don't have Game Pass. We don't have PS Now in Australia or any other or in all countries that we're present in. Fuck, we have to do something. So I think that Platinum idea will come. Maybe they'll announce it tomorrow. Maybe they won't. I'll put money on it. that they're going to show off the new Xbox.
There'll be the discless Xbox.
No, they've already
both.
they've revealed that already. That's out. That's you can
Excellent.
buy
It's
that.
out now.
You can buy it.
I wonder how it's going.
I'd be saying shit. It's called the Xbox SAD. You know what? No, it is. It's the Xbox One S all digital edition. So it's literally acronym.
It is. Wow.
Acronym to SAD. Yeah, no bullshit.
Fucking dead.
That's
Someone
already
should've
out,
got
dude.
sacked over
So
that.
that's fucking done. What I think they'll do is, this is my theories. I'll let you guys share yours in a minute. I'll get this out. I think they will. Are the Swans up?
Up by 42.
Fuck, man, this could be a day long remembered. I think Microsoft will be very vague on it in terms of specs, but they're going to say
way too early.
They're going to say no, it's not. They're going to say this is our new Xbox, and you know why they're going to fucking do it?
Because Sony's not there.
Yes, but also they want to show off games like Halo Infinite on it. They don't want Halo Infinite to look shit, and the rumor is they're actually showing Halo Infinite on PCs, not the Xbox One, because they want Halo Infinite to look the shit, right? And the Xbox One X, as good as it is, isn't up to the snuff of running this game at 4K 60 frames. That's what they're shooting for. So I reckon they'll say, next year we're launching the new generation of consoles. This is the Scarlet, which is the base model. Oh, this is the, what's it called? I can't remember the code name. The base model is the basic box. It's a bit better than an Xbox One X. And here's the Anaconda, which is the real fucking deal, right? And we're not going to give you the full details. We'll give you pricing and specs later on, but here they are. And to show off the power of the Anaconda, here's a Halo Infinite. I fucking put money on it. And then they'll show, apparently Phil Spencer tweeted out that they're showing 14 exclusive games from their first-party studios, and 2 of them are brand new IPs. And they'll show them off. They'll show them off 100%. But I think on top of all of that, and I'm pulling it out of my ass, but it would be smart of them if they said, we know that you love Game Pass, and we're kind of making you play multiplayer with our games with gold, and we're not really sure that we're making you happy with the games we give you with that. We've now got this thing called Xbox Platinum, and Platinum gives you fucking everything.
Yeah, I think they'll talk about xCloud as well.
And they'll talk about xCloud. You know what they'll do? They'll get a mobile phone, they'll hook it up with a Xbox One controller, and you'll be playing, I bet you they put Halo Infinite on it. And people will lose their minds over it.
There'll be that. They'll also, I think, because there's quite a big push for PC gamers now as well.
Yeah, they'll show a lot of shit on Windows 10.
Yeah.
So it'll be exclusive Xbox One, Windows 10, right? And they'll show heaps of stuff on Windows 10. They'll show, I'm pulling it out of my ass, updated Windows Store. I think they're going to really push Windows Store.
It's not hard because Windows Store shit.
Yeah, but
really.
man, they're going to push it hard because they want to compete with all these other launches on the PC. They want to compete with Origin. They want to compete with Steam. They want to compete with Epic Game Store. They want to be a real presence on that store. And I think they're going to say, that's why they've been saying for the longest time, exclusives are on Xbox One as well as the PC. And that pisses me off personally because I've got an Xbox One X. But I've understood now that they want to spread their love to every corner of the market which they're present on, which is Windows, home consoles. Okay, cool, it makes sense. But people have been saying to Microsoft for the longest time, mate, we've got a great PC. We want to play your games on the PC, but your store is shit. And I think the last conference that Microsoft had, Phil Spencer did push the idea of we're going to be really aggressive with our Windows 10 storefront. And I think they're going to push that. They're going to reveal at least 2 of these new IPs. They're going to show off these 14 exclusives. I'm going to throw out the crazy one of a platinum pricing structure that gives you everything under the one umbrella. I'm spent. And they're going to talk about their consoles that are coming, but not specific hardware details. No, but that'll be 2020, coming in 2020. Xbox Scarlet and Xbox Anaconda. I'll put money on it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's an easy money one. But, I mean, with no Sony there, do you think they may even push it even further and go, fuck it, Christmas, new Xbox?
They could be first out of the gate. Well, the reason why I say I don't disagree with you is because they want to wipe their hands of this generation, which for them's been a debacle. They're not even reporting sales figures of the Xbox One anymore. They haven't for the longest time.
No.
Which says a lot to me.
I bought mine at the wrong fucking time.
but that says to me that they're
Xbox One X.
Well, no, I like the Xbox One
I
X.
love my
No, I'm
Xbox
saying
One
if
X.
I bought it 2 months ago and it's gone by fucking the end of the year.
No, I don't think you're going to be in danger of that. I think
Oh no, because that was
no.
3
I
months
think
ago.
I don't think it's going to be released this year. I think it's going to be
I think
released.
it's too early.
I think it's going to be released next year, but I think it'll be before PS5. That's my gut feel, right? I think Sony's quite happy to sit on the PS4 bandwagon and keep the selling of hotcakes that system seems to sell, but they will.
It's a moneymaker for them.
It is. They'll begrudgingly move to the next gen, whereas Microsoft, they can't wait to go to the fucking next gen. You know what I mean? They can't wait to get out of there because the Xbox One has been. I don't care what they say, has been a failure for them. It has because they're so far behind Sony in sales, right? I think they've sold last track is 40 million or 45, which isn't bad. It's more than the original OG Xbox, but it's a long way short of the Xbox 360.
360.
The 360 did about 86 mil or 83 mil. It just got pipped at the post by the PS3 right at the end.
I don't know how you can go so backwards from that. That, in my mind, was one of the best consoles I've
I
ever
want
played
to talk about that at another time, how it was a perfect storm of fuck-ups, right? But I'll tell you,
It's the Ferrari of consoles.
it is the Ferrari of consoles. But you know what? It would have been all right, though, if they had more exclusive content on there. Now, they've addressed that problem now, but you can't just pump out games within a month period, right?
No.
This takes years. And so they will bear the fruits of their labour in 2020, 2021. And then you'll be saying, fuck, the Xbox has got awesome games on it now that are exclusive to the Xbox platform. But I think that platform will not be purely recognised as a console platform. It'll be Windows 10 plus the Xbox, right?
Plus xCloud.
Plus xCloud.
Anything,
right?
everything will be
It'll
on
be a
xCloud.
service. And if you want to play, if you bought your game on your Xbox One or your Xbox Anaconda, whatever they're going to call
Yep.
this fucking thing,
It'll all be cross-platform
it'll be
as
cross-platform.
well. Yep.
Well, they do it now. You can play it on your PC, but you can also play it on your xCloud account that we're giving you for nothing, and you can play it on your phone. Woo! And they're fucking all be cheering. But that's what I think Microsoft's going to do. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's probably the main
Yeah,
one.
actually, it's good
Well covered.
points. Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Platinum definitely sounds logical. They need to do something with Game Pass.
I'm
Game
pulling
Pass,
that out of my ass, man.
Game Pass is pathetic. And as we said,
It has got pathetic
it
recently.
has recently, which makes me think there is something coming up at E3 because they're holding back.
My big concern with Game Pass when it first came out, I was a late adopter to Game Pass. I didn't get it straight away, but I got it. I've got it now. And I still stand by the fact that it's a good idea and it's a good service. But what I thought would happen has happened. And over time, I'm seeing more indie stuff come on that service.
Yes.
Right?
Well, they're
And
doing that
that's
deliberately.
fine,
They want to promote indie developers.
of course, but that's fine.
Well, money in for them.
But originally, Rocket Russell will correct me if I'm wrong, there was a lot more AAA games on there, right? And it was fucking awesome. And when Nervous Nath got his Xbox One, I said to his ex,
told me,
I told him to
this.
get Game Pass.
You need to get this,
right?
and I did.
And the fact that it gets day and date releases of their first party exclusive games, like say, I know I'm pulling it out.
all
of
of
my
the
ass,
14 games that are going to be announced
will be on Game
will be
Pass,
on Game Pass,
right? Which
yeah.
is awesome. So so if you own an Xbox One X or an Xbox One,
Or a
why would
Windows
you?
PC, yeah.
You wouldn't buy shit at a store. You've got Game Pass, so why would you buy any of those games on disc? You wouldn't. I've not bought a game or an Xbox game on disc for fucking years now, right? I haven't because I prefer discs, but on my PS4 I always buy it on disc. That's just me.
Yep.
Right? And so if Microsoft was to do that, then Sony would be really behind the eight ball big time because they've got nothing to compete with that. They don't have a Game Pass service.
Yep.
They rely on PS Now, which we don't have. So go fuck yourself on that.
They're working on it.
It will come here.
Because they're spinning it up in Azure. So they're definitely building stuff, but it's a ways off, and I think you won't see it before the next generation.
No, but what I'm saying is they're
They
competing
won't sort of
products
for that, probably.
we don't have. You pay $10 a month on PS Now, and you got about access to 700 games, including PS3 games. So even though you've got to stream those PS3 games, whereas the PS4 games you can download locally to your disc on your PS4, I'd be in fucking heaven.
Yeah,
right.
Because Xbox Game Pass has 100+ games, and literally when they say 100+ games,
There's
I think
shit,
I counted
man.
it. It was
There's some shovelware.
It was 109 games, And I think 70-something of those were Xbox 360 games.
They've pretty much got nearly every PS3 game on this fucking thing, and the PS3 is one of my favourite consoles of all time, right? That's what I think Microsoft's going to do, right? Sony.
Well, there was an article recently saying that xCloud will support 3,700 games.
Yeah.
So,
Shit.
well, that's a lot. That's everything. And the way that it's architected, it'll be able to support any generation.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to go back to all of the original games, Windows games, old school PC games, right up to modern day AAA titles, all the way up to Scarlet, and beyond. So that's the future of gaming.
3D space pinball.
Ooh.
Could we see a return?
We can see a return.
Battle chess.
Battle Chess was great on the PC.
Love Battle Chess.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they fought.
Yeah. But it is a bit weird this year. Like, I used to love E3, and Sony not being there is kind
flat,
of it's a bit flat. But I get why they're not there. I totally get it. Like, if you're not ready to pull the trigger on a really big announcement like the PS5, why bother being
Builds
there?
more anticipation in my belief.
Absolutely. And they can do it on their own terms. They don't have to compete with Microsoft. They can do their own show, like PSX, and go, here we are. And guess what? Here's the PS5. It comes out next year. Here's how much it's going to cost. And here's the launch games for it. Yeah. Cool. Right? Well, if you're not ready to pull the trigger, all you're going to do is everyone's going, oh, that was a waste of time. And that cost you millions of bucks to rent out the hall.
Well, that's like Samsung. Samsung comes in before the World Mobile Congress meeting and says, here you go, here's the S10. Now talk about this for the next week. No matter what phone you got, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other presence that we have there is obviously EA, Ubisoft, all that stuff. You'll see another Assassin's Creed. Eat a dick, EA, you fucks.
Who is going to shit the bed the worst?
EA.
Bethesda.
Oh, Bethesda. Well, it'll be interesting to see.
That's what they do, mate. That's what they do every year.
It'll be interesting to see what Todd Howard does.
Tell me lies.
Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies.
Tell me lies.
Will they address Fallout 76? You know what I think they'll do? I think they'll say, we know that Fallout 76 has got a few issues. And
a few.
Here's what we're doing.
You're going to love Fallout 77.
You know,
76.5.
You know what I reckon they'll do? You ready for it?
Fucking bin it.
No. Make it free to play. I'm pulling that out of my ass.
You know what? I still wouldn't play it.
I'm pulling it out of my ass. They make it free to play, and they've got season passes coming out of their ass to support it, like Destiny, right? So they make it like a Destiny type support clone, and they say, "Oh, look, we're going to promote. It's now free to play."
Yeah.
Right now, you might have pissed off the people that bought it, but you don't give a fuck about them. They whinged and bitched for the last 12 months. You want to get new players in, so they're probably just going to go, "Well, we make it free to play," but they make their money on, if you want to buy a better armor or you want to buy a better this or a better... I don't like that either,
I fucking hate that
I've
shit.
never played a free-to-play game in my fucking life, and I'm not going to start now. And I don't want to play Fallout 76 either, because it doesn't impress me. It's not the Fallout that I want.
I don't want to play with other people, full stop.
No, but it's not what I want. I want the old narrative-driven...
Fallout to me is, single-player, adventuring, getting your ass fucking handed to you.
But they're going to show more of the new Wolfenstein game. This is the Bethesda. They'll show... I think they'll probably show some other stuff that we don't...
Rage 2, isn't it?
No, it's out. Rage 2's out. I've got it. I haven't played it yet.
I'm out of touch.
You are, and you're out of time, like we are. And so I think they're going to show off some of those sorts of games, but then they're going to show off something that's in the works that they've been working on for a while. Ubisoft, they'll show off an Assassin's Creed for next year, not this year. They'll show off Skull and Bones.
Maybe they'll bring back
the pirate game.
That looks all right.
Skull and Bones, the pirate game. They'll show that off. What else will they show off? I don't know. Probably some other shit. They'll show off the new Watch Dogs Legion, which I'm actually excited about because I was one of the very few people, as well as the Cockney accented Englishman that we know about. Watch Dogs 2 is awesome.
I got the demo, but I fucked up. I could have bought it for $15.
Dude, you can buy it for less now on PSN.
That's gone.
Oh, is it gone?
$14.99. I thought I hit buy, but I accidentally hit download demo. So then when the demo expired, I went, oh, fuck, I thought I bought it, $99. Yeah, no.
I think it's still cheaper than that now, even on the PSN. I think Watch Dogs 2 is really good. It's definitely worth people's time.
I was enjoying it.
Watch Dogs 1 sucked. But they'll pull out their usual band of franchises. EA, it'll be FIFA. FIFA, What else have they got?
New golf game. There's meant to be a new golf game coming out.
Will,
really?
will it be a Tiger Woods updated one?
He's
Well,
gone.
no,
I
they've
thought
dropped
that
it.
merged a golf club.
No, Golf Club 2's it's on its own.
Yeah, but our
Well, Golf
Comedic
Club
friend was
29.
saying they've got the licensing for it
2019.
now.
Yeah, well, they dropped...
PGA's aligned themselves with golf club.
Yeah.
Have they?
Yeah,
Yes.
apparently.
Okay, don't know. I really want a good golf game because I used to love the
Love
Tiger Woods games,
Tiger
man.
Woods
Yeah.
game.
You know the best year was Tiger Woods 2012 when they had the PGA
Yes.
license with it. And then
The one with the Masters?
the Masters
and they had
one.
the
Is that
scenarios?
before he was
That
a
was
naughty,
fun.
naughty boy and lost his Tiger
Yeah,
Woods?
because he lost his... Yeah, it was.
I think it was.
Was.
He was a naughty boy, but not known to be a naughty boy.
Yes, he was a naughty boy, but not
Even
known
the
to be a
slide.
naughty
He'd
boy.
been a naughty boy for a long time before that.
Mate, why would you be a naughty boy with the wife that he had? She was a fucking 10 out of 10.
When you got $1 billion in the bank and
He
something
had a
hanging
10.
around your knee, I
He had a
reckon.
10 out of a 10, maybe 11 out of 10
She
woman.
didn't-
And
Have
he
you, ever
No
seen,
butt
have you ever
stuff.
seen
No
the
butt stuff.
Aston Martin advert with the sexy lady?
No.
So there's an Aston Martin advert. It's a picture of a kitchen, and it's got a beautiful chick in lingerie just sitting there. And it just says, somebody else is sick of her shit.
Oh,
No, that's,
yeah.
that's what our dad used to say.
Yeah.
That's why she's in the used car section.
Yeah. Well, the old man used to say to her, I used to say, oh, look at her. And Dad would go, well, someone's fucking that. And then you go, oh, really? And you go, yeah, but someone else is also sick of fucking that. That was evil. But look, I think they'll pull out their usual franchises. There's rumor they're bringing out the Star Wars game, aren't they? That's an EA game.
That's already been.
That's been revealed, hasn't
Today.
it?
Yeah.
Today, was it?
Look pretty good.
I've not seen shit yet.
No, I
I'll
haven't
go,
seen it.
I'll
Pretty
go
good.
home and watch some
But like
stuff.
everything,
The other game that's going to
Don't
come out that
get expectations.
Pedro will be happy about is the new Fable game.
Is
That's
that? Oh, well, that's what I think Microsoft might show off.
Yeah.
That's with Playground games.
This is post Peter Molyneux bullshit.
Yeah, but this is with Playground, who do Forza, by the way.
Yeah, I know. They
and
do some-
Playground have been expanded, and they were rumoured to do an open world RPG, which has
So
to
what
be
if they drop
Fable.
a Forza 8 or not?
Do
They
you think
might.
they'll do Forza? Do you think they'll do a Forza?
They might do a
again?
motorsport.
It won't be Horizon.
No,
It won't be Horizon.
Horizon's its own little
Yeah, no,
brand
but
now.
usually
They might do
Horizon's
it-
alternate
yeah.
years.
Yes.
So what?
Might be Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's a Forza Motorsport?
If it's a
8?
Forza Motorsport 8 is the next
8?
one.
Yeah.
But you know what? I reckon no.
You know?
That'll be next gen. That'll be
It's
a
meant to be
release
next
title.
gen, so will they...
That's what I'm
Tease it.
saying. This is what I'm saying. Don't you think it's very highly likely that
They're gonna
they'll
start
bring
showing
out...
off, yeah.
No, the first thing they do, the lights dim. Phil comes out with his OG Xbox T-shirt and a jacket. He's quite the dapper young gentleman, is Phil Spencer. And if
He's not that young, but
If
anyway.
I saw Phil Spencer, I'd say, "Who's your stylist?" Because you're quite the stylish motherfucker. But he comes out on stage, right, and it goes in 2000 resolution 480. Dun dun. Then Xbox 360 HD gaming 720p. Dun dun. Xbox One X.
something.
skip
Like-
that. Skip that one.
It's like 1080p upscaled to 4K. Dun dun. Then it's got Xbox Anaconda. And it's 4K, 60 frames a second. Dun dun dun. And he comes out with his big wang between his legs and he's got like a fucking elephant
Jesus.
dick.
Just
And he's
swinging it.
like swinging it, going, "We got the biggest dick, Sony, you fucks." And then he says,
We love you though, Sony.
"Oh, I love fucking Sony big time."
No, they do too.
Oh, they do too. But you know what? I'd be like,
They make money every time
they'd be
Sony
making
sells the
shit
game,
tons
yeah.
of
See,
money.
well, there's quite a few companies out there at the moment making a lot of money out of Sony, isn't there?
Oh, a lot of absolutely.
Well, Marvel, then how much are they
Absolute
making out of
shit
Sony?
ton.
Well, they've got the Spider-Man license. Sony does, and
They
they won't
own-
let it go. They own Spider-Man.
They own Spider-Man, but they were floundering with it. And there was Marvel went to them and went, "We want Spider-Man. What do you want to do?" And they went, so they went, "Look, give us Spider-Man, lend this in for a movie, and we'll give you all production and
Yeah.
distribution rights for the said
That's
movie."
right. He let them.
And then Sony come back and went, "Nah, fuck it, just have him." But you're going to make the next movie.
they still own Spider-Man.
still own Spider-Man,
Yeah. They
but
won't
they-
let that go, man. You know why? Because Spider-Man the game made so much money for them via Insomniac, the developer, that 100% there'll be a Spider-Man 2
a fucking
release.
great
It's a
game.
great game.
Still got to play it.
It's such a fun game, man. It's not perfect, but it's so much fun. And
It's
I
fucking
think
hard
I-
though. Jesus Christ.
It can be
it's tough.
tricky, but it's fun. But I think they're going to just hold on to that fucking...
Oh, well.
They won't let that go.
Golden.
On the upside, all that I really care about is Silver Surfer rights got lost and looks like they're going back to Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I love my Silver Surfer.
The movies were pretty bad though, weren't they?
Yeah, because they were owned by some German company, and they weren't porn.
Oh yeah, so they were.
So Germans only do porn and processes.
And the Silver Surfer
And motors.
The Silver Surfer wasn't
Inspector
shitting on a
Rex.
coffee table.
Oh, Inspector Rex.
With Inspector Rex.
Octung.
But yeah, I think that's what Microsoft will do, and they'll say, and here's Halo Infinite on the new Anaconda at 4K 60 frames. Dun dun dun.
And then they'll run it simultaneously.
My question is, right, do you still think they'll be going 4K?
Yeah, they will. I think.
Are you sure? Because everybody at the moment, the big talk is 8K.
No,
Samsung's
not native.
Samsung's just released their first 8K TV.
They will be 8K upscaled, but they will not be 8K
Same
native.
problem. There is no 8K content, nor is there going to be for a long time.
Let me tell you the hardware specs. This is the real nerdy shit, Rocket Russell. This is what I'll finish on. There's hardware specs that Sony have. Mark Cerny 100% told the media what is in that PS5, and let me tell you, that's impressive shit. What they've put into it, right? So even if you're
Microsoft are going to come in and go, that's cute, but
yes,
yeah, but
that's the thing.
Yeah, but
release your specs
but there's
early,
nothing out
like
there
that.
even on the PC market that can do 8K gaming, right? So there is no way for a $500 consumer device you're going to get 8K native gaming unless you're playing Pong, right? So the only
Pong
way
in 8K.
So
Sweet.
it'll be
Makes me
8K
excited.
capable output, right? But the actual game itself will be like checkerboarded to 8K.
Yep.
It might be native 4K. I think what you're looking at is 4K will be the new standard, like 100% native content with 60 frames. But you might upscale it to 8K if you've got an 8K television.
Yep, and I think that's a good way to end at 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah. What are the
Fuck, could we
swans,
get
by the
to-
way? What are the swans?
Swans are up by 40.
Oh, beautiful.
Shut
Hey,
the
listen,
gate.
before we end
Shut
this
the fucking
bullshit,
gate.
Before we end this bullshit podcast, where I do need to take a piss, and Jason Sock Puppet Relaxation's very, very tired for his 12.5 billion.
I'm wide
hour
awake
flight.
now, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh, you're at that
Well, you got to do some editing,
ready
you
to
fuck,
edit.
because we got E3 prediction. Anything else you want to say about E3? Is there anything you think they might
I
say?
think it's outgrown itself.
I do too. I think it's done.
I want to see what.
Yeah, I think Microsoft were probably working to the date in advance before Sony pulled out.
Yeah.
And they've
And they're
gone
too far
and they've gone
committed.
too far. But Microsoft have their own conferences
You know what?
all the way throughout the year. You can imagine them going, you know what, we're going to have a gamer.
WWDC.
Yes.
That's it. They're
You
just
know,
gonna-
you know what it'll be? It'll be Microsoft might inherit the date and time of E3 by default because everyone walked away from it, and that's fine. But you're right; they'll all end up having their own consumer show, like Apple does.
Yep.
And what Nintendo has been doing for a long time, by the way, with video conferences, where they can streamline it, and Sony started doing that this year with State of Plays, and so I think they'll do it because one, it costs them less, and two, they can control the attention of the audience much better. Because if Sony had to come to the E3 conference this year and announce the PS5, everyone would have gone, oh, awesome. But then if Microsoft announced the Anaconda, oh fuck, all the attention all of a sudden's gone, different directions. It's not focused on your target audience, and that's why. And when you're paying millions of dollars, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So I think E3 is dead. Whether it's defaulted to Microsoft's own show around the June period for them, it might well be. But I think all of them will disappear. I think all of them will do online conferences. Certainly the third-party developers like Ubisoft, EA, Activision, they'll all walk away from it too. It costs them too much.
Too much money.
And EA cops so much bullshit. Every year they do it because no one likes what they've got to say. The Ubisoft, I think, have been consistent, and they'll do consistently well again this year. But why would you go to this conference when everyone's going to be talking about what Microsoft's doing? And your game is going to be on a Microsoft or a Sony product. Why would you be there? It's bullshit.
Yep.
I think it's done and dusted. I give it another few years and E3 is fucking dead. And that makes me sad because I liked coming home and watching
It used
E3
to be
conferences.
great.
I used to love it. It was like the Super Bowl for nerds. You'd sit there and go,
Oh, where's my flashlight?
yeah, where's my flashlight? Oh.
Jesus Christ.
And you look at the Just Dance, the Dance
Revolution.
Revolution dances for 2020, and you go,
Fisher Price, my first porn.
and
in
you'd
the
be sitting there going,
fleshlight.
oh, I just ruined your roommate's bathrobe. Or it'd be like, I got shot in the buttocks. You'll be looking at their buttocks, like the maid lady's buttocks. I think they've been surgically enhanced.
Jesus
Have we said
Christ.
anything else? Is there anything else we want to say about E3?
Nope.
No crazy.
I am looking forward to the Microsoft press
I am
conference
too.
tomorrow morning.
You know what?
What time is it?
I think it starts at 6 a.m. our time.
I think it's bad for us. We're going to have to watch it later.
I'm at work at 6. Oh, wait, no.
That's
Tomorrow's
public
fucking
holiday.
holiday.
Tomorrow's
That's why God save the Queen.
I've only got one meeting tomorrow, then fuck it off.
Yeah, God save the Queen. No, I
I'll go
think
for a
I think
drive.
Microsoft will put on a good show. I don't see them fucking up. I really don't. I think they'll put on a good show.
I hope they do.
I think they will. I hope they do because they need it.
E3 needs
They
it.
need it. E3 needs it, and the gamers need it because we want Microsoft to succeed. I don't want them to be floundering like they were in the early Xbox One days. That was god awful.
Well, now we've
and
got
I don't want to
yeah.
see. I don't want to go back to the days of Don Matrick where they spent the whole conference talking about Kinect and all that bullshit and Connectimals, and they had that young girl patting a virtual fucking lion. Count me out. You know what I mean? You lost me at that point. So I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to be impressive.
Yeah, we've got Phil Spencer at the helm.
I think they're going to be good.
It's a completely different generation.
The question is, before we go,
Yeah.
what T-shirt do you think he's going to wear?
I don't know.
OG Xbox.
Our OG Halo, I reckon.
Ooh, that's a good one. What do you think, Nervous Nath?
Could be a Scarlet shirt.
Nah, he
Throw
goes
a
he's
jumper right
retro.
there.
He's retro, but
I
he
know.
wore a Battletoads one a few years ago. I'm going to put my money on a OG Xbox T-shirt, but he did wear that a few years ago, so I could be fucked on that.
No, it'll be
Well,
some
at least
OG
we know-
game.
We know he's got
Or
one in the cupboard then. That's
He
the main thing.
might put on to confuse people and make people
PlayStation
very excited.
PS5?
Oh, this is a crazy one. He walks out on stage
Mario.
In a black turtleneck.
like Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
No, he won't do that. You know what he'll do? He'll walk out on stage with a Sunset Overdrive T-shirt, and people will lose their minds. That Sunset
gonna fucking
Overdrive
lose my
2 is out, and it's coming, you fucks! And it's exclusive on the Anaconda, and it's going to be part of Game Pass day and date. Go fuck yourself, Sony! That's what Big Phil with swinging dick fucking Python dick is going to say. He's going to have a Sunset Overdrive 2 T-shirt on, or a Sunset Overdrive T-shirt on, and everyone's going to lose their
All I have to
fucking
say to that
minds.
is take my fucking money.
Done!
Big Dick Phil.
I think I've ended it perfectly. Yes?
More power
Yes.
to you, sister.
We're done. This has been Invert the Y episode 12.1.5 Captain's Log. I'm sorry I ranted about E3. I can't help it. I've been watching it since the late 90s. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. Something else I need to improve in my life with, but I haven't got a cat anymore to blame for his stickiness and smelliness, and I might just burst into fucking tears. It's been very traumatic for me, and there's a lot of stuff that I need to do, like print out pictures of him and put him on a collage on his wall of fame of all the shit things he ever did to me. But I love him. Fucking cat. And next week, you little fucks, we'll be talking about more retrodom, and we'll see how far off we were with E3, and we'll all go, you got it wrong. It wasn't a fucking Sunset Overdrive T-shirt, it was a Ninja Gaiden
it was
T-shirt.
a Project Gotham.
Oh, that's the other one, Rocksteady. Maybe he comes out with a fucking Batman T-shirt. He's capable of wearing anything, Phil Spencer. He's a beautiful man. We're done!